mine's finishing as well.
Okay. All right, guys, welcome. So, as promised, today, shared flight in the Toliss A319. And with me here is also a streamer on YouTube, though I think he streams. So, Organ Aviator, hello to you.
Hello.
And as always, guys, if my friend here is too quiet on the frequency, let me know. Then I can adjust the volumes of it. So let me know.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how many people here know about shared flight, how that is working. We've done it in the past, although it's been a while now. But shared flight was initially for a long time a beta version, and lots of testing was going on. And I think for half a year now, it's already now in full release. So the website is, if you're wondering, is sharedflight.com, and it works here in X-Plane 11, X-Plane 12. Right, so Fuzzle, hello to you. Dr. Fred, thank you so much for the 30 months. Fred, how are you doing? Nice to see you. And thank you so much for the long-term support. Airbus, hellochen. And Luke, hello as well. And right. Oh, and by the way, I think, so Organ, how can I call you? Organ or any other nickname?
Nick, yeah, Nick.
Nick?
No,
okay,
my name is Nick, yeah.
Nick, okay. So I'll call you Nick. Yeah, so he's a bit quiet, people saying. I can up that volume, no problem whatsoever. No, it's on my side. I can boost your mic. Yeah, that's fine.
Perfect. My channel can also hear you now. Excellent.
Right. So I think what I'll do is, so when I talk to my chat, maybe a bit longer, maybe I'll mute Discord in the meantime, or.
Yeah, you can mute. I'll probably mute mine for a while as well.
Okay. Call me back once you're ready for the cockpit preparations, and then.
Okay.
All right. Right. Yeah. So there we go. So that way it's easier for us to talk to our chat each separately. So I think I've boosted him a little bit more now. Hopefully his volume levels are better. Let me know if it's still too quiet, then I can boost him a little bit more. Right, somebody is asking, Shakovic, hello, will you ever go back to P3D? Probably not. I think, honestly, I have moved past P3D. It's just for the maintenance. So imagine, with P3D version 5, and some people say V6, and the people say, oh, why aren't you using version 6? And, and it's just too much maintenance, too much space on the hard drive that I need to keep free. So yeah, I'm probably not going to go back to P3D now. Lido, hello. P4D. Well, honestly, we said it, we talked about this in the past, haven't we? I think P3D at the moment is probably a fairly dead platform. I know a lot of people love Concorde, I know, but to be honest, I think the bigger chances are that Concorde at some time comes to Microsoft Flight Sim. But otherwise, I don't see any reason right now to go back to P3D. Axel, how are you doing? Axel, I think what I did get the A330, MobiFlight profile, and it seems to work. It doesn't complain too much, so I'll let you know if something goes wrong. But thank you so much for the help. Corey, anyone else have troubles getting 24 to launch? I reinstalled, deleted all my mods, updated all my drivers, verified, repaired. Still can't go. No, yesterday I had no issues whatsoever. It's actually loading quite fast. Hey Dexter, how you doing? German Sim Aviation. Why the cockpit in the Toliss is looking so much different? Now, I know. So, guys, this is also something. I guess because we have these different platforms, people tend to compare. I mean, that's a normal thing, isn't it? So I think you just have to free yourself from comparing these visuals, simply because X-Plane 12 at the moment, as things stand, was quite limiting. However, they are improving certain aspects for add-on makers here in X-Plane 12. So there are more options to improve on the textures and the lighting, etc., in the future. So I think things will improve here. I don't think they will match Microsoft, but the thing is that X-Plane has some other key strong points, some advantages. And for those that have X-Plane 12 and fly it, there is only a circumstance with very strong crosswinds where I think X-Plane 12 is still not realistic. It's just a bit overdone with the gusty crosswinds. But otherwise, the handling, the hand flying, and I can only comment from a real-world pilot point of view, it just feels more natural here in X-Plane. It's hard to describe, what aspects exactly. It's just hand flying and the way the wind influences the aircraft. It just feels more natural here in X-Plane. And so that's one of the key differences. Now, X-Plane for me has another strong point, another big advantage, and that is the shared flight. So I am eager to try out shared flight again more often, simply because it does give you another level of immersion in a sense of flying with your friends, the ones that share your passion, and be able to go through certain procedures, especially in a two cockpit crew environment, and that just makes way for some great flights. Fuzzle, is there any possibility to contact you? Oh yeah, sorry, Fuzzle. Yeah, thanks again. So yeah, for the road flight, thanks so much. And Derbeck, hello to you. In what regard? So Derbeck, I think the Phoenix has a fantastic overall amount of realism. So there's a lot of things implemented that please obviously the hardcore flight simmers. It doesn't mean you have to use all of these things, but potentially, right, if you want to progress and get more knowledgeable about the aircraft, etc., Phoenix does have a fantastic platform. So that's just something you have to understand and appreciate. So Toliss.
So hello.
So let's see. Hello. All right, back again.
All right.
Cool. So regarding the shared flight, I'll get back to a question, Derbeck, in a second. So we said that Organ will be pilot flying to Vaga today, okay? And so whenever we go flying again, Organ, then we'll switch roles for today. And so I know that a lot of people usually would go into their FCOM of real aircraft and say, oh, the pilot monitoring does this and the pilot flying does this. Right. It's here in shared flight, you're going to run into some issues from time to time, simply because the way the flight sim is connected, etc. Right. So I think it's just best to kind of split the preparations a little bit. So I would say, since, if you did, let's say we did the proper real-world procedures, it would mean that the pilot flying does the overhead panel and the pilot flying does his side of the cockpit and he programs the MCDU. And that leaves the pilot monitoring literally doing nothing, right? So because the pilot monitoring in the real aircraft will do the outside check, right?
Yep.
Which we don't really do here in the sim. So my suggestion would be that I'll do the overhead panel.
Okay.
Including the electric power up, and then you can go and go ahead with the flight planning.
Cool.
Before we do that, one more thing regarding the settings. So we have to make sure that we have the same aircraft sim config settings.
Yeah. Okay. So let me go into that now. Sim config. That's the one.
Yeah. So left side.
Aileron with ground spoiler. Have you got that on or off? Or hold on, which ones have to be the same?
Let me start from the left side. Similar configuration, it says.
Okay.
So enable ISCS and EFB on or off?
I've got that off.
Yeah, off as well. Sync baro settings off, obviously, because we are doing shared flight.
Yeah.
Then visual settings, I think I've got glass reflections off, but I don't think that's really a problem if we have separate.
Yeah, I didn't think that's an issue.
Yeah, okay, exactly. So particle effects, I have mine on.
Yeah.
And then, I'll have refresh PFD every 1 cycle.
Yeah.
Engine type, automatic or?
Automatic, yeah. CFM, so automatic.
Yeah. So wingtips have sharklets, auto.
Auto, so do I have the sharklets? Hold on.
I don't think we should have the sharklets now.
No, I don't have the sharklets.
Yeah, all right, cool. Okay.
All right.
Then the DCDUs, yes.
I've got that on, yep.
Yes, okay. And then use Imperial units automatic.
Yeah, automatic.
Has SATCOM? I think no.
Let me change that. No, there we go.
And temporary flight plan on ground, yeah, on.
Yeah.
Aileron with ground spoilers, I have that off. What do you have?
Yeah, off.
And then auto navigation on go around, I would let that on, yeah. Okay, so we'll save that config.
Save config, there we go.
Okay, so loading.
We have to do anything else, or is that it?
I think ground services the same. We have, I think for now, starter situation is cold and dark, we said. That's the same. And the only thing, let me just check my sim brief is in. Hoppy logon code. I think that's something I have to quickly add. Although,
we're not using Hoppies today, really.
Yeah, okay, so leave that as it is. And I've got, I've got ignore aircraft type mismatch on.
Which one are you on now?
It's the last
settings.
settings accounts.
Yeah.
And then,
so.
Hey, I was got someone. Hello.
Default to default baro unit 8 pascals.
Yeah.
Default transition 5,000.
Yeah.
User interface pop out windows for pop outs. I don't think that
off.
matters actually.
It should be off. I think for shared flight, you're not supposed to go into pop up and do stuff there. So it's best to have that off.
Well, it is off. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Safe pop out config off. Use mouse wheel on.
Yeah.
Miscellaneous ILS auto align off.
Yep.
Transponder compatibility mode. Transponder, compatibility mode off, and cache routes off.
Yeah, exactly. And then I have on the left side, ignore ARAC AC type mismatch on.
Yep.
And then set payload fuel to SimBrief. That should be on because we should be synchronizing our weights and fuel.
Yeah, I've got that on.
And then always use SimBrief wins.
Should we?
Yeah, I think let's leave that on now.
Perfect.
All right, so cool. Good. Okay, so let me just check the loading performance info.
What fuel figure did you decide on?
Okay, let's do the following then. Let's go ahead and jump into the flight deck. And so looking at the OFP. So let's have a look. Here we are. So weather-wise, it's not too bad today, is it?
No, we've got quite a headwind, though. 34 knots of headwind.
Yeah, but that should be included in the flight time, i.e. the fuel value. Looking at the weather forecast for Vagar, currently 010 at 13 knots, few 1100, few 8,800. Rest is broken, high cloud, -1, and the forecast is becoming 030 at 17 knots, but that's not too critical, I think. And the alternate is Bergamo. Bergen. No, Bergen. Bergamo would be a bit far, but Bergen is fine. It's good weather forecast. Maybe some Prop 30 shower rains, but nothing major. So the question would be, I have already decided on extra fuel. How much extra fuel would you like to have?
Well, I decided on a ton of extra fuel, so 900 kilos of extra fuel, 7.5 tons in total.
Okay, so I planned with 30-minute extra. Just a kind of a gut feeling regarding going around, and then setting up for new approach just takes a while. So before we have to then decide to divert, I thought maybe 30 minutes. So I've got about 1,300 kilograms extra, and so planned takeoff fuel would be 8,115. If we add 200 kilograms taxi, we're around about 8.3, 8.4 maybe.
8.3. So yeah, and that's fine with our landing weight, takeoff weight stuff.
Yeah, let's have a look. That's a good point.
Should be.
I can
landing weight seems to be.
Yeah, we got about 600 kilograms, and that's already including the extra that I've calculated. So, so even if we get shortcuts, that should be fine. 62.5 is max landing weight. Okay, so what I'll do then, I'll enter 8.3, and I'm going to apply the zero fuel weight of 50. Let's have a look. So I'm going to add a little bit zero fuel weight. So 56.7, 56.8 is on the flight plan.
Yep.
So add a bit more cargo. Yeah, okay. So let's say the final figure was 56.7. So can you have a look at your simulation control system in a Toliss and make sure that you have the same weight and fuel values?
Yes.
Oh, that might
50.
Yeah, mine just
right. So how many passengers to start with?
Yeah, I think you see that kind of reset again with your values. I'm not sure. What zero fuel do we have?
I've currently got 52.7.
Yeah, okay, so that's why it reset. Can you do me a favor? Can you set?
Oh, that's now set to yours now.
Okay, so it's 132 passengers. 1,300 forward cargo, 1,400 aft cargo, and then the fuel, I'll put in again 8.3, and that's applied. That should hopefully sync with your.
Fuel hasn't synced. The rest is good.
Okay, so can you then have a look at set your fuel volume to 8.3 as well, and then just set
8.3. There we go. Quickly. Okay, I've got 8.3, and everything should be set now on mine.
Yeah, Mark, I can try again. So I guess what we could do, if you put under, actually, but SimBrief ID, that's the thing. So Mark, hello, Mark. Yeah, Mark is saying that the SimBrief ID, that's the number. So what we usually do is we both have the same. If you put into both the same SimBrief ID, then it would sync up automatically in the Toliss. So if I tell you mine, it's 76464. If you enter that.
Hold on. Oh, where is it? 76464. 76464.
Yeah, exactly.
And check. There we go. That's all fine. Save preferences. Loading performance. Yeah, that seems to have worked.
All right. Then we
Let
can
me
start
set the fuel again. 8.3 tons of fuel. Perfect. Apply. Great.
Okay. Alrighty, then let's start up. How does Shared Flight Smart Copilot compare with Control? Well, the thing is, so you have to say that the shared flight is just a different concept. So this is actually done over a server, a dedicated server, which means that's a lot more stable, a lot better with synchronization. And if you get desynced, there's just a lot easier way to get resynced again. So here on the shared flight, you can pause, sync, transmit, get the buttons in the same sequence again, and then unpause or sync, transmit, and it will sync up again. So just an example. It's just a lot more stable. Hey, do it again. Right. So power is on. I'll do the over the panel if you like. You can go to your side, and then you can go hacking into the FMS or the MCDU.
Right, delete all, delete data init, data aircraft status. Have database until the 19th of March. It's the 13th of March at the moment. Init request.
So one thing I'm not really happy with at the moment, it still doesn't like the block fuel for some reason. Let me just try that again.
Let's see what I've got. Yeah, I've still got 8.3, sir.
Okay, so now it's in. So we have to monitor that, make sure it doesn't reset again.
Yeah.
Somebody asked, what is the fuel value long range that that you arrive with? It depends. So normally, the thing is with
right for Delta.
Yeah, with so with the fuel values, it depends on your company kind of SOPs, right? So there's a there's sometimes a procedure where you kind of plan to arrive with 1 hour remaining flight time at your destination. And that is supposed to be done because then if you have a problem with landing gear flaps or some other technical issue, that just takes a little bit of time. And the thing is that very often, if something happens with the flaps or landing gear, when does that show up? Well, when you lower the gear or the flaps, right? So not to be hard pressed on time, you would look for maybe 15 more extra minutes, and that usually adds up to about an hour remaining flight time. That's normally the idea. Has someone got demoted to the right seat? Ghost. Yeah. No, I asked him, if you want to sit on the left-hand side, I'm fine with sitting on the right-hand seat. There, somebody just said, been demoted to the right-hand seat. So I have no issue with that at all. Right. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. A fire test coming. Yeah, so Pilot Flying is also a streamer here on YouTube, Organ Aviator. Check out his channel, please.
Yeah.
And
that's via.
And he's also streaming.
Yeah,
right.
Insert.
Cool.
Data init flight plan secondary flight plan. Copy the active, and we'll see what we can do. 06.
So just like in the real aircraft, I've got things to do.
Autopilot.
Hey Sanders, thank you so much for the 20 krona again.
711 talks.
Okay, so Sanders, the answer is no, but I have a good excuse. So today we actually went looking at a new flat. So my daughter is actually thinking about moving flats, and today was a site, kind of a schedule to have a look at that new flat, and so we went there. And there's a good chance she'll get it. So I said, so my argument was, well, then there's no point in drilling big holes into a wall, if you move flats in the next 4 weeks anyways, right? So I got out of it. Have you ever had to cancel delay a flight because something you found in the exterior check? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Rambo, yeah. Especially with things like bird strike, or some dent somewhere, leaking fluids. I had issues with the fuel transfer valves being stuck, etc., etc. So it happens from time. It doesn't happen often, but it can happen for sure.
That's fine. Yeah.
No pressure. Ghost says, don't worry, not many people watching.
Data
Right.
in it. Flight plan right now.
So the cool thing is, if you got someone with you who's also knowledgeable on the aircraft, then things are very efficient when it comes to preparations and setup and so on. Oh, that reminds me, I need to get connected to VATSIM. So we are easy 711
and 060. What nav aids are around us? Should we hard tune any nav aids for the departure?
Let me just check. So the departure route is the Grice. Is it 3 Charlie? We said.
Grice 4 Delta.
4 Delta the other way. Yeah, 06. Yeah, absolutely. So Grice 4 Delta. So if we look at the description, it doesn't say RNAV, so the whole departure is still based on NDBs, VORs, or whatever. So yeah, we have to tune some stuff. So it says climb straight ahead to half a mile, India Victor Golf, and that's the ILS DME. So that's that's something we have to hard
tune that.
Yeah.
Oh no, not that one. India Victor Golf ILS. Oh, it's got it tuned anyway.
Yeah, but the thing is, so this is one of those typical Airbus things. Exactly. So if you don't hard code that in, once you get airborne, it deletes it.
Oh, okay. I've just hard tuned it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Well.
So the reason, the technical reason behind that is, so the localizer, if it's available for the runway, is used for the runway alignment indication. When you call out, whatever, flex 45 runway. So once you get airborne, the logic says, well, now you're airborne, you don't need the localizer indication anymore.
You don't need it,
Yeah, and that's why it goes away. So for the DME, definitely. Now, the thing is, so if you tune it there, you have to have the ILS key active, which is perfectly fine. You can do that. Things people don't know is that you can actually put that into a DME as well. So I can dial in 108.9 and tune that, for example, on VUR2. So if I switch now to VUR2, I get the DME distance, because that's all I need, really.
Cool. Okay.
So it works both ways, whatever you feel comfortable with.
Yeah. I'll leave it in the ILS one.
Perfect. Hey, Mate, buonasera. Yeah, both of us on VATSIM. So I connected as, and we do have ATIS, we have ground control, which is nice. So I connected as normal, and Nick, he has connected as observer. So that way, I am going to tune. Let me just tune 1-to-1. Oh, so get the ATIS, and let me know if you can hear the ATIS, by the way, in a second.
Okay.
So 355.
Data init flight plan, secondary flight plan radar. Init B. Checking that figures. So zero fuel weight 56.9. CFG 28.5. Block fuel 8.3.
Okay, I'll check that as well.
Which leaves us with a takeoff weight 65, landing weight 62.2.
Yeah.
Which is fine, yeah.
So I'm not hearing
the rest alone and performance.
Not sure if the ATIS is not on the air or. Well, let me put in
config 1. And yeah, that's fine.
Condition
config
dry.
1.
Yeah.
Yeah, condition is dry. So 140, 144.
Okay. Did you put in takeoff weight 65.2 or 65 exactly?
I'm using the ISCS for the takeoff figures.
Ah, okay. So
I've got that
in the EFB. because it gives you some nice
I might.
description.
Yeah, I might use the AFB.
Because that's a bit more realistic. Yeah. Yeah, so Ghost, the thing is with the items, so for now for the preparations, we're doing kind of a little bit different. That, you know, I did the overhead panel, and Nick
65.0.
did the 65.0 as well. I've got 28.8 as CG.
28.8, yeah, that's fine. Config 1. And air conditioning is off.
Yeah.
Wind 0203, 7 degrees 1007 UNH.
Yep.
Off and compute.
Right.
Okay, so for V1, 143.
Yeah.
Rotate 143. V2, 146.
That checks flex.
And flex 67, and that gives us a stop margin of 163 meters.
Yep, sounds good to me.
Perfect. 143. 143, 146. 143. Flex 67. Config 1. And yeah, that's fine.
So I'll check that as well on my side. 434, 346.
1140. 1140. And 1700.
Yeah, exactly. And the engine out is straight ahead, 60 degrees, 25 miles.
Yes. Yeah, 060, 25 miles, and I've got a right-hand hold in there.
That's fine, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think that's it set up then.
Okay, I'll check your box then, or my box as well. And someone was asking about the procedure. So for the flows, so once we get going with the before start, for example, then things are clearly divided between CM1 and CM2.
So it is coming down, ground control.
All right, let me just start the APU if you're all right with that.
Yep.
Good. All right. So let me have a look here.
Right.
Flight plan. (42) 301. That looks okay. Let me just check Aviator here. So we go half a mile, then or 640, which was a little earlier, left 44. 3 miles left, and we're going to intercept the SARP 12.5 radial, above 4.5 max 6,000. Okay, at 4 to 60 ms, then turn right, and then Tala 347 to Grice. Cool. All right, so let's have a look here. Ratnav, do you want to have Sierra Alpha Bravo for the first intercept on 1?
Sierra Alpha Bravo. Hold on. On VOR 1.
Yeah.
Sierra. Where's that?
That's for the first intercept on the left turn.
Yeah, we need that. All right. VOR 1. There we go.
Yeah, perfect. Ghost, is that better with the brightness? Oh, that's better. Okay, so I'm going to put the APU bleed on. External power is available now, so we can get that disconnected. And brake is set. Chocks are being removed as well as we speak. Now, one thing I'm concerned with is I don't hear anyone. I would like to make a quick call to see if it's working. Let me just check my settings here. Joystick, contact ATC, push to talk. Now I have to put this to ATC, X-Pilot, toggle nearby ATC window. No. Contact. No, that's the wrong button. Plugins, X-Pilot, settings there. Oh, there we go. Sounds, advanced options. No, where was that? Hang on. There we go. X-Pilot push to talk. That's the button I wanted. Fantastic. Okay.
On a flight, load loss and breathe. Why not?
Okay. I'm just going to contact ground. Let me know if you hear him or not. Actually, he's logged off now. It's only tower, actually.
Yeah, he's logged off yet. Tower.
18705. So the cool thing is I can set the frequency on my side by having switched VHF 1 on my side. So I can pre-dial the frequency here, and when I press transfer, it also transfers that on the CM1 side. Edinburgh Tower, good afternoon from EZ711 and A319, stand 9. Information is whiskey. Requesting clearance, please. Oh, I'm not hearing him. Are you hearing him?
Yeah, I could hear him.
Okay, I could not hear him. Hang on, let me just get audio. I'm not sure why.
Apparently you haven't filed a flight plan.
Okay, yeah, I'll get to that in a second. Let me just see why I can't.
EZ227.
There we go. Okay, now I can hear him.
Fully established, runway 24.
Silly me! I didn't file the flight plan. Oh, let me quickly do that.
Edinburgh Tower, Speedbird 20.
How could that happen?
Inbound ILS, runway 24.
Speedbird 20, Edinburgh Tower, report fully established, runway 24. You're currently number 2. Just so you know where S2.
But it's good that you can hear it.
But you can stay with me for now.
So we are departing at 17:50 in about 5 minutes. So we'll file that. It's filed. Fantastic. Cool. All right. And EZ711, apologies. Flight plan should be filed now.
EZ711, roger, stand by.
So Grice 4 Delta is what we're expecting. We're going to get a first altitude, although no, probably not, because according to procedure, it's 6,000 anyways.
Yeah, 6,000.
Shall I put it transition altitude at 6.1 in the takeoff page, so that the QNH doesn't blink all the time?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, let's do that.
EZ711, I have your clearance when ready.
EZ711, ready to copy.
EZ711, you're cleared to Varga on the Grice 3 Charlie departure, squawk 6021.
Cleared to Varga on the Grice 3 Charlie departure and a squawk 6021, EZ711. So that's going to be the
EZ711, correct, QNH 1007.
QNH 1007, copied EZ711. So it is the other runway, and it says that probably on the ATIS, right?
24. I will set that up now.
Yeah.
EZ227, runway 24,
Squawk us in.
surface winds 250 degrees, 3 knots, clear to land.
Checking through, no discontinuities. No, let's rerun the takeoff performance as well.
Yeah.
So 24. 67, 143, 143, 146. So
Just a quick question: did you actually enter the new? Hang on.
yes, I did.
Okay, because on my side it doesn't show the departure route on my FMS.
Does it not?
No, it just shows runway 12 and then flight plan discontinuity in there.
My one seems to be fine. I can do it again.
Yeah, try that again.
Grice 3 Charlie, that's all fine.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, because I don't have that departure route. That is weird.
So is it still not working on yours?
Yeah, let me just have a look here at data. Yeah, but I have nav. It's the 20th February until 19th of March. So the database is in. And I don't know. Departure. It's 24 departure. Oh, it took runway. Yeah, it took. Let me just do that on my side. And let's see what it does on your side. Can I have a look? Is it still in on your side or?
Yeah, it's still in on my side.
Okay, cool. Okay, then that's maybe what's it kind of desynced there. All right, I'll get the takeoff performance as well. So we're going to take runway 24. Compute.
Yeah. 143,
Yeah.
Airline 1415 Airbus 319 stand 7 information.
Guys, you can hear ATC as well, all right? My dear chat.
Yes, I can.
Okay, and the chat.
1415 Edinburgh Tower, cleared Fargo, Grace 3 Charlie departure, squawk 1.
Oh, somebody's flying along, nice.
It's to Fargo, Grace 3 Charlie departure, squawking
1140,
1415, correct, QNH 1007. QNH 1007.
21. All right.
Mm-hmm. And flex 67.
So,
it's just the flaps not showing on my side. 1 plus F.
Virgin 2 on Golf with you on stand 18. Renee 350 information whiskey on board QNH 1007. Request alpha clearance to
And the
Oslo.
trim should be
32 on Golf Edinburgh Tower, cleared Oslo, Grace 3 Charlie departure, squawk 6025.
28.8. It should be
Cleared
about
Oslo, Grace
upper
3
half or
Charlie
something.
departure, Squawk 6025 Virgin 2 on Golf.
Yeah, up
32 on Golf,
0.4.
correct.
yeah. Just let me check something quickly. That's fine.
Hey Toto, thanks for the feedback.
That's, there we go.
Edinburgh Tower, good day. KLM 1 for Tango request diver.
Okay, so on the takeoff page, I don't have that showing yet on my side, on your side.
A319 and stand number 10.
All right, so should we check those takeoff figures?
Let me just enter that on my side as well, and that way it should sync up. So there we go. Yeah, so I have V1143, VR143, V2146.
KLM 14 Tango, correct. QNH
Yep.
6000 transition, although let me change that 6.1
KLM 1 for Tango.
so that doesn't blink all the time. And then we've got flaps 1 up 0.4.
Yep.
Flex 67.
Flex
And we have
67.
and thrust reduction acceleration 1140, and engine out is 2100.
2100, yes, I have the same.
Perfect. And then
And
Radnav.
what about stop margin? What stop margin have you
I have
got?
140 on my side.
I have 159.
Okay, that's fine then. That's close enough, I think.
Yeah. Radnav, then let's have a look at that.
Yeah.
So, let's tune uniform whiskey because that's where we make the turn. That's already tuned. Let's just do that again. Hard tune that. Radio 351 346 T Tango Lima Alpha as well. That should be tuned. Yeah, I'm gonna tune that. Perfect. I think that's all I need to tune. In that case.
Yep.
Let's. Well, the secondary flight plan is now out as well, so let me change that quickly.
Yeah. Right. A question from Airbus. What do you mean? So Amber, I think we fixed that now, so that looks okay now. EFOP. And your Avitab doesn't work.
240.
Make sure that you have the latest version of the Avitab.
Miles. And from there we will hold 240 degrees inbound and left turns. No, we'll left turn seems sensible. There we go.
Garen says no sound. Are you sure? Everybody's saying we've got sound, Garen.
Oh, Papa Hotel.
So maybe check your browser or something.
The visual approach.
Perfect. Data init, flight plan, secondary flight plan, radar, init B, and formats. Perfect. That's set up then.
Thanks, Sanders. Yeah, maybe check your browser settings. Good. I've checked everything. Looking good. I'm happy with the program.
And initial climb. We should set initial climb now.
Yeah, 6,000.
Should we not?
Yeah.
Yeah, 6,000.
Exactly.
Right.
So one more thing.
Should we do the departure briefing?
Yeah, before we do, so just a general rule regarding shared flight, just like in the real cockpit. So whenever the aircraft is on the ground, the pilot flying does the manipulation of the speed, heading, and altitude, and the modes, right? Once we're flying, as long as you are using the autopilot on, then also the pilot flying is the only one that manipulates the autopilot panel. Unless he orders the pilot monitoring to set something for him. Otherwise, the pilot monitoring never ever touches the autopilot panel, right? The same goes for the FMS or the MCDU. Anything that adjusts the vertical or the lateral flight plan is always only done by the pilot flying. And the only exception to that rule in flight is the following: when the pilot flying is actually in manual flight. That's the only time when, without even saying anything, the controls are transferred regarding the FMS and regarding the autopilot are then being transferred to the pilot monitoring. So if, let's say...
On the ground at Edinburgh ground is now online, 121.755.
Okay.
Ground online for further, 121.
Right. We'll do that in a second. And so let's say ATC gives us a new heading instruction, right? So, and the pilot flying is in manual flight. That means me, as the pilot monitoring, I will dial in the new heading without the pilot flying ordering me to do so, right? That's something very basic as a rule. Same with the altitude, right? So if we get cleared to level 240, let's say, I will dial in 240. I won't wait for a command from the pilot flying because it's obvious it's a clearance from ATC, so I can dial that in. Yeah. However, let's say we are in currently open climb and the pilot flying wishes to use vertical speed. He will then instruct me as the pilot monitoring, again in manual flight, he will say, pull vertical speed 1,000 or plus 1,000, right? And then I will set that accordingly. And again, once the autopilot is on, again, it's only the pilot flying that manipulates the MCDU regarding lateral and vertical flight path or the autopilot panel as well, right? Cool.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, so briefing. So which format would you like to use? The one I published on my website, or?
I usually go through the weather, aircraft, NOTAMs, and threats to start with.
Okay. Then go ahead.
So I guess we'll do that.
Yep. I'm happy with that. Go ahead.
So the weather in Edinburgh is pretty nice. It is overcast. And let me... Hold on. I should have prepared for this a bit better. Okay, so... broken at 4,400 feet. So we have computed with anti-ice off because I don't think we'll need it. The runway is dry. There is 3 knots of wind from the north, and because we're on runway 24, that means our right engine is critical for the departure. But 3 knots is barely anything, so realistically, we probably won't notice it. That leaves us, though, with a headwind component of 2 knots. The aircraft QNH as well as 1007, which has been set by both of us.
And Speedbird 20, welcome.
The
to
aircraft
Edinburgh.
is a
Vacate
fully
left to enable
functioning Airbus
taxi to
A319,
Alpha
nothing in the
12.
tech log that we know of. That we have one, but there's nothing in the tech log. NOTAMs, I don't really pay too much attention to them. We're in the sim half through. Threats, then, we're in shared flight, which I've not ever done actually on stream, certainly, so that's a threat. But other than that, we've got ATC, so traffic separation should be taken care of. Edinburgh's a pretty easy airport, although we have got some traffic around, so just watch out for that while we're taxiing. It's a full-length departure, so no intersections to worry about. And the airport, we can expect a taxi via Foxtrot, then Alpha, all the way out to Delta 1, so full length, and there are no hot spots for our taxi, so that's fine. Any threats you want to add?
Yeah. So the only hotspot I can see is, I think that was due to the old runway, but that's like Mike taxiway now. Yeah, so I don't think it's really a threat. There may be some GA aircraft on the right once we're on Alpha going northbound, but otherwise. Special threats, so departure routing is a conventional. I'll monitor that and I'll give you a call out if the autopilot doesn't follow the correct path. The same thing is what I normally brief in the real flight deck is that we'll monitor each other, and there should be no concern regarding making call outs. So call outs are never criticism, right? It's always a supportive means of letting the other know, hey, there's some speed or altitude or heading that's not correct, so let's correct that. And again, it's never criticism. Yep. Don't hold back, right? If you see something that's not as it should be, speak up and let the other one know.
Yep.
All right. Apart from that, I have nothing to add.
All right. So, in that case, initial climb is 6,000 feet, which we have set. And as we pass overhead Uniform Whiskey, it's going to be a right turn.
Yep.
And climb, we've got no speed constraints, and no altitude constraints, although we do have to achieve certain altitudes. And should we have any issues, severe issues such as an engine failure, we'll follow the secondary flight plan. So nothing below 400 feet. Above 400 feet, we can start the ECAM actions, push the level off, and then activate the secondary flight plan, which is carrying on out 25 miles and then holding with left turns. And we'll return back to Edinburgh if something goes wrong, because there's a nice long runway here. It's a pretty easy airport to get back into.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Okay, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Nothing to add there, and I would be ready for a first checklist.
Airline 1415, stamp number 7, requesting push and start.
So on the ground, you call up the checklist name, so you would say cockpit preparation checklist, and then I would read it,
East,
and you answer the prompts there. So
okay, so cockpit preparation.
Roger. Gear pins covers removed. Fuel quantity.
Fuel quantity is 8,200 kilograms. Now checked and balanced.
Perfect. Seatbelts.
Seatbelts are on.
ADIRS.
It is data. Sorry.
Speedbird 20, heavy
Position
full
one, sir.
roll, thank
The
you.
first
Green
one.
nav green.
Yeah. Correct. And bar roll ref.
QNH 1007 set 3 times.
Yeah, QNH 1007. And we've got 110 feet on my side.
And 110 feet on mine.
Perfect. And that's the cockpit preparation checklist complete.
1807 cleared Stuttgart, Gotham 1 Charlie departure, squawk 1071.
So now you would call for the before start items.
Okay.
Yeah, Gotham.
Before start checklist.
No, so first before start items, and I think
Okay.
so you're, if you look at the flow, so you do the beacon,
Yeah.
you check that your window is closed, you check the
beacon,
door slide arm
shut.
indication,
Doors are armed. Yeah.
thrust levers idle,
Idle.
yeah, and so I'll check that transponder is transmitting mode Charlie. It is. My Windows door is closed as well. And
3, 4. Thrust levers idle. Parking brake set as well.
yeah. And then you would put on the fuel tank pump switches on as well when any time you wish now.
All right. Yeah, let's do that. Fuel pumps on.
Yeah, and now I'm ready for the checklist.
Request push and start.
And before start checklist.
Before start, parking brake.
14 Tango stand 10,
Set.
push and start.
Take off speeds and thrust.
Confirmed.
Push and start approved, facing east, go down.
So you would read 143, 143, 146, flex
Okay,
67.
let's check that. Yep. 143, 143, 146, flex 67, config 1.
Yeah, so I would say the same, 143, 143, 146, flex 67. And windows, doors,
Closed and armed.
closed, and the beacon,
Beacon light is on.
and that's the before start checklist complete. Okay, I'm on ground, I'll call for pushback, and then I think since I am master, I'll organize the pushback truck. And
Okay.
get it, all right. Edinburgh ground, good afternoon, Easy 71 on, stand 9, and we have QNH 1007, A319, fully ready for start and push.
Easy 711, Edinburgh Grand, hello, stand by, we'll call you back shortly.
Standing by.
Ground to cockpit.
Oh yeah, to be a passenger on your flight,
27 Edinburgh Grand, good evening.
yeah, you have to have the Toliss,
Gatwick,
correct.
Gotham 1
You have to have the
Charlie
aircraft, yeah.
departure, Squawk 7017. You cut out at the end there, so I'll
Oh yeah,
give
that's
you
actually
the
true. So anybody that's in
correct
X-Plane 12 and has the Toliss 319, if you want, I can add you as a passenger. You can fly along as a passenger on the flight. That's quite a funny feature as well, I think. Hey Nick, how are you doing? Ha, well, it's busy here. Look at that.
27 read back correct.
Yeah, there's 2 aircraft pushing behind us at the moment.
Yeah, we've got a 747 parked next to us as well.
Stand 17 requesting push and start.
Okay, well for me it looks like a 330 on my model matching.
Push and start approved.
It looks like a 747 to me, but I don't know.
Yeah, I would have to check the.
The other day at Heathrow there was a 350 and it was model matched as a 330.
Okay, well that's not too bad. I mean,
No, not too bad. But it did confuse me a bit when they said 350 parking up next to you and it was a 330.
yeah.
Request push and start. Condor 1807, stand by for pushback. I'll call you back shortly.
Yeah, the model matching here in X-Plane sometimes is a bit weird, yeah. So
yeah,
now,
I just have the default stuff that came with X-Pilot. I don't have anything additional.
yeah. So let me have a look. So I did ask for the pushback truck, but I'm not sure what's happening here.
They said they're ready to connect. I heard them.
Okay. Because I'm not seeing the animation. Sometimes there is an issue with shared flight, a better pushback.
Edinburgh ground, KLM 1 for Tango, ready for taxi. We can.
Oh, he's lifting me up. Okay, that's weird.
Yeah, same here.
So I can't see the animation. I can't see the truck.
Delta 1 to runway 24 by hand.
It's probably fine because the aircraft are synced.
Yeah. Then I guess you have to do the. Oh yeah, it says on my side pushback. Maybe you have to get the pushback direction in a minute if you can set that up.
For Tango, sorry, say again. Taxi to Delta 1 for KLM 1 for Tango. Airline 1415 request taxi and full length is required. Airline 1415, roger, taxi on a point Delta 1, runway 24 via Alpha.
I don't know. Are you able to set the pushback direction?
Let's see. Better pushback, start pushback.
Not let's,
yeah.
No, yeah. So let's see.
I can set up.
Okay, then set up facing north, I would say it is.
Facing north. So that's tail right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hold on, but we're not cleared yet.
No, not cleared yet.
Yeah.
It's just it's a pre-planning. I mean, if that fails, we can still do the pushback. We can kill better pushback and do it via the Toliss pushback.
No, it'll work. I just selected start pushback. So
yeah,
now
so
I have
maybe
to wait on the plan and screen for ages.
Yeah, I think
actually, if I cancel the plan, and then I should be able to.
Do you know how long
this will work.
Yeah, because the thing is, you've got controls of the flight controls, so that's why probably you have to do pushback. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. German sim aviation. Yeah, the beacon is definitely more visible here. Yeah, that is true. Right, he's taxied out. We should be all right in a minute. Yeah, they're both gone. Let's see.
KLM 1 Tango, no further ATC. You can tell me the Unicom 122. That's my today.
Uh-oh, now the 747 is pushing back.
Oh, you're joking.
No.
So apparently people saying it's a 707, which I find quite funny. Okay, push and start approved, facing northeast, easy 711.
Oh, are we clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Parking brake released.
Hello, you're clear to Bournemouth. Got someone, Charlie departure, squawk 3436.
Yep, we're pushing back. Hooray. Right, so for the engine start, it's your item for the ignition start switch and then to put the start lever. I think we start engine 1 on the EZs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so engine's all yours whenever you're ready.
3436, sorry, Blue Max 1133. E711, apologies, cancel pushback.
Okay, holding position, easy 711. Okay, try it. Can you stop the pushback?
Stop the pushback.
Yeah, he said cancel pushback.
There we go. Stopped. And park and brake set.
Yeah. Well, he's not really going to be able to squeeze past, really.
932, taxi Honda Point Delta 1, runway 24 via Golf, Mike and Alpha.
He didn't push back far enough.
Delta 4 via Golf, Mike and Alpha.
Yeah, there's no way he's getting past us.
Well, hope the crash detection is disabled. Yeah, he's just apologizing over direct message there. No worries. I'm not sure. Are you able to pull forward? Oh, he's asking for taxi now.
Able to push back, or should I call the truck again? Condor 1807, if you have enough wing clearance to get past the easy, then you can call for taxi.
Now he's like judging.
1807, I don't think so, I'm sorry.
I mean, what we could do, we could
1807, Roger, no problem.
we could start the engines and maybe taxi out. Shall I offer that to him?
Yeah.
Okay, easy 711. We'd be able to start the engines here and then take a left turn taxi out if that's possible. Yeah, go ahead with the engine start.
All right. So
711, sorry, are you able to straight push?
And what we could do, we could start the engines here and then just take a left turn out. That would work for us.
711, then A firm, if you can do that, that's good.
Okay, we'll start the engines here. Give a shout when we're ready for taxi. Stand by, easy 711. Yeah, just go ahead with the engine start and then...
Oh, okay. So we're stuck on where we are then.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's APU bleeders on, fuel pumps are on, ignition start. Starting engine number 1.
Roger that. And then you can tell the pushback truck to disconnect.
Yeah, no, we'll keep them connected because then it's easier to plan again.
No. So I said to him that we're going to start the engines here and then just taxi out left turned. We've got enough room to the front.
Oh,
that's
we
fine.
can. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so that way.
So stop pushback.
Easy 36 Echo Bravo, vacated on Bravo.
UD 36 Echo Bravo, hello, taxis to stand 6 via Alpha Foxtrot.
Good start, engine 1.
Stand 6 via Alpha.
Kilo 932, no further way to see, continue Unicom 122, this mic, can I?
Disconnecting hand signals. Number 1 available. Starting number 2.
Perfect. Yeah, so the Condor just has to wait a few minutes. That's not a problem, though. Not for us, at least.
Last station call sign.
Air Force 1.
Air Force 1, Madam Ground Flow.
We're just pressing on my check.
Air Force 1 report, aircraft type is not lovely.
Stand 211, number 747-800. It might come up on your thing as I think it's VA. Give me 1 second, I'll check.
Okay, good engine start. So you can call for the after start flow if you
Air
like.
Force 1, yeah, no problem, I've got you. You cleared Manchester. Crash, I need you on...
And let's go after start.
Yeah, no problem, we're not ready for clearance yet.
So you just do the APU bleed. I'll do the rest down here.
Number 1. So 1 is engine mode slow.
Yeah, that's already
Yeah,
on.
Captain. So that's fine. Number 2 is APU. 3 lights.
And we'll do the flight control check on taxi out.
Yep.
So I'll call in that we're ready for taxi.
Okay, fine. There we go. Yep.
Easy 711, request taxi.
711 taxi, holding point Delta 1, runway 24 via Foxtrot.
Fox Alpha, holding point Delta 1, runway 24, easy 711. Right, so left out. Right side clear.
Cleared left. Yep. Alright, are we cleared?
Yeah, clear left,
Taxi.
Foxtrot Alpha, holding point Delta 1.
Perfect. Parking brake release.
Yep.
Mark 2 to make radio check.
Mark 2 Mike on the ground flow, readability sign.
So the next taxiway on the left is going to be Foxtrot.
Air Force 1, I need you on a off flight level, excuse me, accept flight level 210, flight level 230.
Okay, it's going to 190.
Air Force 1, a firm of amended to flight plan, flight level 190 down to Manchester. Cleared by Gotham on Charlie, squawk 6467.
Cleared to Manchester by the Ghost of 1 Charlie, departure squawk 6467, Air Force 1.
And then it's going to be a ride on Alpha.
Combo 18007, taxi on point Delta 1, runway 24 via Addons.
Taxi, holding point Delta 1. Yeah, there's contact with Delta 7.
Good, you're on Alpha all the way, holding point Delta 1.
Stand 102, this information actually on board aircraft
Perfect.
EC-20 question, Alpha clearance to Dublin.
So cabin is ready. I've done all the items whenever you're ready.
Dublin, Gotham on Charlie,
And flight controls, I guess we need.
Yes,
So
sir.
now we're on a
Yeah,
straight piece of taxiway, so my controls.
your controls, yeah.
Full left.
Yeah. Left.
And roll spoilers.
Full right, yeah. And neutral. We have full up, full down, neutral,
Air Force 1, we are officially ready to push.
full right on the rudder,
Air Force 1, stand 211.
full left, and neutral.
Now preface.
And you have control.
It's fine. That's fine. Only the pilot flying does the
You
flight
don't
controls.
want to
No,
check
no,
your...
no, it's fine. So that's not done in real life either. So it's just the captain checks the flight controls and that's it. Hey Peter, good heavens. So would you like the
711, no further ATC,
Aye.
continue Unicom 122 decimal 8.
over to Unicom? Have a nice day. Thank you. Easy 7 on. Oh,
27 stand 5, push stand.
that's interesting.
Combo 1807, no further ATC, continue Unicom 122 decimal 8.
There we go. Unicom is set. So I will be ready for a checklist if you like.
Okay, so that would be the taxi checklist.
Let's have,
taxi
after
checklist.
after starts first after checklist. Normally would do that after having done the flight control check. So anti-ice is off. Ecom status is checked. Pitch trim is up 0.40 and rudder trim is neutral. So taxi checklist now. Flight controls
Check.
checked. Flap setting.
Config 1
Yeah, config 1 plus F.
plus, so yeah.
Yeah, radar PWS.
Oh, you've got it on system to on an auto.
Yeah, and then we've got engine mode selector.
Normal.
Ecam memo.
Takeoff no blue.
And that's the taxi checklist completed. So let's have a look.
Lineup checklist.
Right hand side is clear. Cabin crew prepare for departure. Packs were calculated with off.
Yep.
And the approach sector is clear. I'll just give them a shout.
Yep.
Edinburgh traffic, easy 711, lining up, departing on runway 24 in Edinburgh. And the lineup checklist. Takeoff runway.
Confirm full length 24.
24 for length. TCAS, TARA, and we have PAX 1 and 2.
1 and 2 off.
And that's the lineup checklist complete.
I'll get the landing lights on, that might be a good idea.
Yeah.
And strobes.
Perfect.
There we go.
Cool, let's go. I'll start the timer.
And just get lined up properly. And let's do this.
Have a good flight.
It's at 50%. EGT stable and set takeoff thrust. And flight 67.
Yep.
SRS. We'll do thrust blue.
Checked. Thrust set. One 100 knots.
Check.
V1. Rotate. Farther right.
Gear up, please. Gear up, please.
Yep. So just like the right button here. Gear up.
Thrust climb, auto thrust 6,000 feet. Blue.
Is checked.
Flaps up, please.
Speed checked.
Flaps up.
Yep, coming. Flap 0. Pack 1 is on. And pack 2 is on.
Perfect.
Lovely. So now we go 2,000 feet to go. So nice departure route here. Cool thing is about shared flight. So when you're pilot monitoring, there's 1,000 feet. You have much more time to look out the window.
Yes.
Now, if you're okay with it, I'll check TCAS for above. Any targets? Let's have a look.
Yeah, okay.
I don't see any targets, so if you're okay with it, we can continue climb.
Yeah, so let's go up to 10,000 feet to start with.
Okay, so I'll set your 10,000, and what mode would you like?
Open climb, please.
There we go, 10,000 set.
Thank you.
Is it really? Hang on. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, that should not be linked. Yeah. Hey Ted.
Set standard pressure.
Checked. Standard passing 7.2 now.
Check.
Yeah, sorry, I've changed that command.
Edinburgh traffic, Air Force 1 is going to be lining up on the reach couple.
A 1,000 feet to go.
Outside.
Airline the Boeing 747, just to let you know your mic is about readability of 3.
And we can continue our climb. Yes, so performance is fine, so we can continue up to 360.
Okay, so I'll dial in 360.
And open climb, please.
There you go.
Yeah, do you like the Boeing 747 Air Force 1?
Yeah, really, Air Force One on radio. Lol. What is FSX? Yeah. Cool. I'll get you landing that off.
Give you something to fix that if you want.
I'll clear
It's
you
legit,
the
by the way, it's not a scam.
Ratnaff.
If you're on, if you want to text me,
I'll copy the
on,
secondary.
The V-pilot, I will give you that.
And I'll clear the fixed info page. Looking good. All right, you're all set.
Yeah, and we'll engage the autopilot. So autopilot 1.
Checked. Yeah, nice departure. Good. Well done.
Perfect.
So northbound over the Scottish Highlands we go.
Traffic Air Force 1,
Yes.
1003, climb
Yeah.
603.
This works so much better than when I tried shared flight in Microsoft Flight Sim
Yeah,
using the yaw controls.
yeah. It's something I've always
really
said.
Works very well.
Yeah. So I don't want to spend hours troubleshooting, and getting to grips with these things,
Yeah,
and
you have to wait for a minute.
I just want things to work, and I want to fly. So, all right, Captain, seatbelts.
Yes, there's no turbulence, is there? So let's get them off.
Oh, sorry, seatbelt off. Yeah.
Oh, you did.
Yeah,
it.
you would tell me to switch those off, and that's
Oh,
it.
okay.
That's fine. Totally. It depends, Tom. It depends on if you do shared flight, it's the Toliss for sure. But I think regarding the overall kind of fidelity, if you take everything into account with visuals and sound and the possibilities with system simulation, then Phoenix is better, right? So again, it's all a matter of how you use these add-ons.
Yeah, but both of them are very high quality.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely. Yeah.
It's you really are picking tiny differences.
Yeah.
If it's a difficult decision between them, I think.
It's so difficult to answer that question anyways, because everyone has a different mindset when it comes to flight simulation, right?
I mean, for me, I find it easier to load up X-Plane because it's so much faster to load and then to use. But then if you want visuals and stuff like that, then Microsoft has to be it.
Yeah. And that's just the thing. I mean, I know, from comments in the community here on stream, I know that there's a lot of people that are extremely focused on visuals and sounds. Then of course you're not going to be really happy with X-Plane. But there's others that are not so fixated on that. They're more fixated on system simulation or flight model itself, right? And they're X-Plane 12 just feels more natural in that regard. So yeah, in the end, it's up to you, each and every one of you, to decide what you prefer.
I can't talk about this for long because I'll get told by my supervisor. If you want to fly by wire and
Yeah, so cool thing is, with the connection on VATSIM, that works nicely as well, right? And so you can see that in initial, so the first 1 or 2 flights, it's always, when you fly with someone, trying to get to grips with the procedures, and see who does what items, right? And then once that works, you will notice that the workload distribution is just so great because, things become so much more relaxed when you've got 2 pilots on the flight deck here. Sogan, how long have you been in flight simulation then? How did you start?
Sorry, me.
Yeah, how long have you been in flight simulation?
Yeah, so I've probably, I started with FSX probably about 5 years ago, I want to say. 4 or 5 years ago. Then I went to X-Plane 11 because at the time that was the best that there was. Then obviously, Microsoft came out. But because I was in the Falklands, Microsoft 2020 isn't an option down there because of the internet. So when I came to the UK about 1.5 years ago, I went X-Plane 12, and then I went Microsoft. So yeah.
And do you have a preferred add-on aircraft type, or are you like me?
It has to be the Toliss 330.
Okay.
Yeah. I would say if they came out with a Dash 200 330, then that would be my favorite.
Yeah. So, yeah, I like the fact that we are actually blessed with having many add-ons that are fairly well detailed and allow us to get immersed in many different aircraft types. I think that's brilliant. And worldwide as well, right? So the sceneries. I'm going to switch on. Actually, the SAT is -41, so we're in the climb. So there's no need.
And we are in cloud about to be. So the anti-ice. Do we need anti-ice?
Well, the thing is that the SAT is below -40 already, so not really necessary anymore. Yeah.
We probably don't need it.
Yeah. So for me, the fascination really is being able to fly, different add-ons, and feel, nicely immersed, and kind of get an idea. Like, let's say the A380, for example, right? So that's also an add-on which gives you, an idea what it would be like to fly the A380, right, in real life. Maybe not so much regarding the flight dynamics, but I mean, using the systems, doing a long-range flight with it. You can get a good idea.
Yeah. If your computer can run it.
Yeah, performance-wise, it is a bit hard on the system, yeah.
We've hit a bit of turbulence in that cloud. Nothing too severe there.
Yeah, nothing. So these days, I think that's pretty much procedures, at least in Europe, where people are supposed to be strapped into their seats anyways as soon as they've taken the seats. So we would actually switch on the seatbelt signs.
I would get the seatbelt sign on, please.
Well, hang on. We would only use that if we really have moderate or severe turbulence. So
we've got a bit of turbulence.
Oh, let me have a look. Well, at the moment, on my side, I would say it's just light turbulence. So for that, I wouldn't really. But you're the captain, though. If you say seatbelts on, I'll put the seatbelts on. Let's put it this way. You're the captain.
Yeah, I would put them on.
All right,
I would put them on.
That's fine. Seatbelts on. There we go.
Yeah, because my side, I've got the physics camera turned on, so it does look.
Is that in X camera? Or with what do you have?
No, it's just the G-loaded camera. Explain default.
Okay, let me have a look. Is that under developer? Where do I find it?
Under view.
View, G-load camera, internal views. Okay,
Yeah.
let me... Oh, you see, I can't for some... I guess, you know what? I can't activate that, and I think that has to do because I'm using X camera.
Yeah. It's a really good feature. It works very well.
And I think that's because I have that... I should have a setting here as well. Let's have a look. What Cineflex camera? No. Yeah, that's what Toto says as well. I would have to disable X camera, but no, I don't know. But there we go. But that's why you probably have some better feel regarding turbulence than me. Yeah. Oh
anyway,
yeah.
we seem to have come out of the turbulence now.
Okay, then
So,
you just command
seatbelt
seatbelt.
signs can come off. Yeah.
Roger that. Seatbelt signs off. Okay, let me just have a look. So if I disable X camera, okay, so let me have a look then. View G-load camera. Okay, now at least that's turned on. Yeah, now it's on now. So now that once we hit some turbulence... Oh, I need to be in beta version. I think I am.
I don't think I'm in the beta. I think I'm in the stable version.
Yeah, I can see a little bit turbulence, Toto. I can see a little bit movement there. Yeah. Yeah, it's already, I can already see a little bit turbulence. That's fine.
Yeah, there's not much left now.
No. Top the cloud there. Yeah, let me go back, switch that back on again. All right, cool. Yeah, that's a nice feature.
But it's really cool on landing as well. Takeoff and landing. And also taxiing around because it like vibrates as if there were bumps in the tarmac.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I can only hope that someday X camera will include that as well. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to next weekend regarding the FS Weekend show in Lelystad, Netherlands. So, because people are writing here, that's amazing how not just the aircraft add-ons have evolved, but also the hardware market has evolved. Making affordable hardware now for flight simmers. And I agree. So I have so many add-ons, hardware add-ons as well, and that's really nice. So looking forward to see what's on the market and what the plan is for the future. 2,000 to go.
Yeah.
Nice. For some reason, I don't know why I can't call up weather data in the Toliss at the moment. There must be some setting somewhere. Yeah, thrust lever is a bit wobbly. I guess that has to do with calibration. Hey, Taylor West. So you're going to London tonight to catch a flight to Amsterdam. Looking forward to it. Yes, me too, Taylor West. So I'll let you know. Well, Saturday I'll be arriving around about 2 o'clock at this show. I know it's a bit late because it apparently only is open until 1600 for the general public. But I'll be there around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and so we can meet up then. And then, yeah, we got a nice dinner set up for 6 o'clock. Can have some good talks there. Looking forward to that. Ah, okay, look at that. So Trump Light says X-Camera has released a beta to work with G-Camera. Thanks for the info. Fantastic. Hey, baby Boeing. So this weekend in Lelystad, which is a bit east of Amsterdam, they have the Flight Sim weekend show. Yeah, Tail West. Yeah, just let me know on Discord, or maybe I still have your WhatsApp. Right, so back to the question regarding ATIS. Don't know why I can't. Because I don't need to be on Hoppy, I know that.
Out star.
Yep, sorry. Yep, there we go. 360.
And out cruise. There we go.
Yep. I'll set your TCAS to below.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I don't know why I can't get weather info through the MCDU. So one thing which is also a very cool feature is now, don't worry, I'm not going to do anything nasty, but so here in Shared Flight, what you can do, you can actually go and fail some stuff, so I can set that up, and if I have the key still valid, let's have a look. Oh, it's already linked. Let's do, was it Z or Y? So if you look at my screen there on my nav display, do you see VUR2 in red?
Nav display. Okay. Yes.
So you see that does work. So there's so what you have to do in order for that to sync to aircraft, I think, yeah, you can pre-dial the failure, and then I think to activate on both sides you have to have a button bound to that. So like I think I had a Z key or something, and then when you press that, it then activates on both sides. So let's reset that again, fix that. The A319 behavior, I don't know. I have to ask Nick for that. So how was the takeoff? How did it feel like?
Yep, it felt fine. Yep. Very smooth. It felt, just like X-Plane always does pretty much. It has a lot more, inertia and weight to it than Microsoft. Okay. It feels more alive.
Okay. So
I would say.
Yeah. So yeah, the question was apparently 319 had a new update. I don't know when the update was, but I updated yesterday everything. So I don't know when the last update was actually officially out.
Yeah, I last updated it maybe a month ago. I've probably not got the latest update for it.
Okay. Right, so now since we can't get the weather through the ACARS, I'm going to call up the weather here. So currently Vagar, it has light snow showers. Lol. So 020 at 15, light snow, a few 900, a few 1400, scattered 2000. So it will be interesting. 2 degrees. Kinich 1012. But the wind is okay. The wind is not too bad today.
Now, I've got 15 knot crosswind, supposedly.
Yeah, it is 15 knot crosswind, yeah. But again, it
Which
could be worse.
Could be interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Could be worse, but
yeah,
it's what, a 30-meter wide runway, so it's a pretty narrow runway.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point as well, because that then means it's more likely to get a hard landing, because you think you're visually higher up than you actually are. So you have to really listen to the countdown of the height.
Yeah, and it's sloped as well, quite severely sloped. So you're landing uphill as well.
Yeah. Challenge for sure. Somebody asked, is it worth getting X-plane for the flat factor 777 alone? Now, the flat factor 777 is not finished yet. I mean, it's still in the beta version. It's very nice. I like it a lot. I'll fly it again here very soon. Now, the good thing about X-plane is that, just to give you an idea, right now I'm running X-plane, and I have, for the sceneries, a little bit of an addition called SimHaven. They have different regions, US, Europe, so you can download each of these regions to enhance the ground autogen, right? So give you a bit more, nicer buildings on the ground, etc. And that alone is quite nice, and that's free, right? So if you have, well, if you want to have some more detailed airport add-ons, then of course you're going to have to start, paying some money for those third-party add-ons. But overall, X-plane offers a lot of freeware on these dedicated websites. So it's not as expensive as other flight sim platforms.
Yeah, and the other thing I would say as well, as far as scenery goes, is that X-plane airports, default airports, are much better because they are usually handcrafted. Most of them by now, I think, are handcrafted through the X-plane gateway.
No.
So they are all pretty good.
Yep, getting much better. Yeah. So nicely above the clouds here. Beautiful. So I'm just wondering, so what's still missing for me in Microsoft Flight Sim is the 747. Now, the thing is, though, we know that currently they're working on, so P&G is working on the 747-200. So the question is, how many people are actually looking forward to that?
I do also want to give a shout out to anyone who's just subscribed over on my channel. I've not had any alerts, but a few people have, so thanks very much for that.
Was it even a 747-100? And they work on a 747 SP. Which is probably SP. Is that like the short version? That looks so weird.
We should probably start having a think about our arrival, I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are 260 miles out.
Yeah.
So, let me just get the chart up quickly. UKBG charts, stars, approaches. We're on Victor,
yeah.
ILS Victor.
Exactly, because we're going to be arriving via Sudur.
Yeah. let me get the plan view up on mine and see how that looks. One, two. Super, there we go. So let's check the constraints. To the above 4,000 feet. Yep. VG 918. VG 914. VG 908. Yep, VG 907, and that's got a constraint of 4,000 feet in it. VG 904, 4,000 feet as well. And then it is a 3.5 degree ILS that is in and on a course of 302 degrees. Track 301, okay, that's 1 degree out, but that's fine. Go around. VG 901, yeah. Arc 903, max 190, yeah. 9052, yes. And hold right turns, 4,000 feet. Okay, perfect. Let me get the weather up in Vega. Ooh, what's happened?
Mark, yeah, I have not actually. You're right.
So,
they are looking a bit better.
Should we
yeah.
do an arrival briefing now?
Yeah, I've checked all the values. I've already done the landing calculations as well. Performance calculations.
So yeah, let's do some landing calculation. Flap 3. Should we go flap 3?
I would go against
Let's
that
drag.
because, well, we've got two problems. One is the steep profile. That's one, and the other one is a short runway. So I would and light snow, so it could be wet and.
Yes. Okay, we'll go flap full in that case.
Yeah.
Brake mode medium will compute and reverse on to start with. Status overweight apparently.
I put in 62.5.
Fuel prediction. Estimated fuel on board is 5.1. And we've got a zero fuel weight of 56.9. So 61.962 is our landing weight. Supposedly, so
Macro
I'll
flight
add
SP
500
equals streamer
kilos.
plane lol.
Yeah, okay, so I've computed with 62.5 landing weight.
Yeah, that's max landing weight exactly.
Yeah, we've got a margin of 545 meters, which is fine.
Yeah, I got with runway condition wet and engine ITIs on. I have 318 meters about.
Wet runway, let's do that. What other conditions? We could compact snow. Do you think it could be snowy up there?
Not really. It's plus 2 degrees and only light snow. I think they would probably chemically de-ice the runway, so I'd go with wet runway. And
Okay, wet runway. Compute. 379 meters margin.
yeah, I have exactly the same.
Okay. So the weather, 15 knots from 020, which gives us a crosswind component of 15 knots, headwind of 3 knots. So that is quite strong, but nowhere near our limit.
Yeah.
Few clouds at 900 feet, and that is fine because our minima is 480 feet, so we are fine for Cat 1.
Okay, so
stuff.
Can I just quickly intervene there, please?
Yep.
So on the landing performance calculator, it says engine out to go around gradient. The maximum it can do is 4.4%.
4.4%. Okay.
So
yeah.
yeah.
So our minima is 490 feet
Perfect.
in that case.
Perfect. I would go with that as well.
Okay, so let's fill that in then. So 490 minimum descent altitude.
Checked.
Q&A. We can expect where is it?
10, 12.
1012.
Tail west, yeah, we're just going to go with the flow here.
Temperature is going to be 2 degrees. Have you got 2 degrees?
Yep, 2 degrees it is.
And wind is 020 at 15.
Checked.
It's going to be config full, so no need for the flap 3 push button.
I agree.
Alright, the aircraft then is still a fully functioning Airbus 319.
Yeah.
No TAMs, nothing that we should be concerned about. We are in the sim.
Mm-hmm.
Threats, lots of threats.
Mm.
Firstly, we've got the terrain off to the northeast, which is a threat certainly for our go-around as well. So should we have to go around, we do need to make a slight left turn to avoid terrain.
Yeah.
Which makes the outbound course 289 degrees for the go-around, and that's straight out to Magny. However, that is programmed into the MCDU, so that will be giving us guidance on that. Just making sure to follow it. MSA is 4,000 feet, and we've checked through the routing, so that looks fine. In via Suda, and then joining the ILS for runway 30. It's a slightly steeper approach than usual at 3.5 degrees, so make sure we are configured in plenty of time.
Yeah.
Keep the speed under control as well. Yeah, it should be a fairly standard ILS and with a minimum of 490 feet.
Sounds good. One thing I'll change is the transition flight level. It should be about 90 because transition altitude is 7.5. And
yeah, 7.5.
Yeah, we have QNH 1012, so I'll put 90. Cool. Yeah, you mentioned a bit of crosswind for the threats. Steeper than normal glide slope. I agree with that. And then also a 30-meter wide runway you mentioned. Upsloping, so a bit of possible hard landing awareness. And we have a little bit of buffer with automatic medium, so we can flare a little bit. Let's say 200 meters flare is fine. So
yeah, that's another thing I was going to mention, though. It is a fairly short runway, and it is steeply sloping at both ends, so that's just worth mentioning.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Otherwise, I don't have anything to add. I'm happy with that. Yeah, it just looks like you probably didn't see that, but it looked like some fighter jets intercepted us on the right-hand side a few seconds ago.
On the right hand.
Yeah, so somebody typed in chat, Fast 102 is intercepting us.
And I guess we ought to talk about how it's going to be flown as well. So I intend on keeping the autopilot in until we're established on the localizer and glide slope, and then get it down to about 1,000 feet. Take manual control if we're visual with the runway, but leave the auto throttle in.
Sounds good to me. Also, I think, you know, from a mindset here, think about it, you know, that you're going to be allowing yourself to be a bit more aggressive on the flight controls. Because, you know, normally with airline pilots, we tend to be in the mindset of, you know, passenger comfort. So we tend to go easy on the flight controls. But in these approach types, with gusty crosswinds, you know, just get your mindset that you know, try to get, you know, don't let the aircraft get too far outside of the normal values with speed and altitude and lateral tracking. So it's a bit more aggressive, you know, today.
And of course, we should be prepared for a go around as well at any time.
Mm-hmm. So the call out would be, you know, anyone below 1,000 feet height calls out go around. It's a mandatory go around, right? It's not no, we'll make it. So no, you know, anyone below 1,000 feet calls out go around. It's a go around.
Yeah.
So the call out will be from the pilot flying, go around flaps. Pilot monitoring checks the speed, and then puts the flap. In this case, since we're going to be probably in config full, I'll put it in config 3. So say flaps 3, and then I would call out thrust set or go around thrust set, positive rate, and then pilot flying says gear up. Yeah.
And since we have got that crosswind and we have got the hills around us, if we do get wind shear or we call go around for the wind shear, we'll stay in our configuration until we're climbing away.
Yeah. And the call out for that will be wind shear toga. Because that call out then triggers everyone in the flight deck to the same procedure. So you put the thrust levers into the toga notch, and the configuration remains the same until we're out of the wind shear.
Something quite cool on that topic. I realized the other day that the Toliss does actually call wind shear if you do experience wind shear.
Yeah, it's hopefully not too you know, too sensitive, because that can be annoying sometimes.
No, it needs quite a lot to trigger it. I was doing some stuff at Madeira, and I specifically set it so that there would be significant wind shear.
Yeah. Somebody was asking if the call out is saying go around flaps or go around flaps. So you should put a little pause in between that. For the simple reason that there is procedures like bulk procedures, or you know, if you do a hard landing bounce procedure, you don't want to retract the flaps while you are close to the ground, right? Because that changes lift, it changes the center of lift, so the behavior of the aircraft. So we usually have a small pause with go around, and then, you know, depending on where we are, what the energy state of the aircraft is, you know, if there's a tail strike risk or not, and if we're high up, you know, if there's no tail strike risk, and it's a stable path, then yeah, we would go around flaps. All right. And then somebody was asking why we're doing the Victor approach and not the we are doing the ILS Victor. The reason is that
Victor.
It has to do with the arrival routing. So if you take the Zulu approach, for example, it's a conventional out of Vaga beacon. Right. So today, since it is quite convenient, you know, with the arrival, the hour of arrival, we'll take the Victor. X-plane map enhancement is free and does not affect. So what does map enhancements do? I've not used that.
We've got someone coming up on the left-hand side of us.
Oh, is that the fighter escort?
Yeah.
Okay.
Aha, here he is.
Let's check.
Just off of our left wingtip now.
Oh, up there, yeah.
If we can see him.
It's
There we go.
Yeah, it's probably, I don't know. For me, it's like it looks like a 319 as well or something. It's not a fighter jet for me.
Oh yeah, it's like it's a 737 for
Or
me.
737, yeah. It's a very fast 737.
Yeah.
Yeah. So of course, yeah. You know, if you filed your flight plan via Robur, you're fine. Go with the Zulu approach. But we filed our flight plan via Sudur, so that's why we're doing the Victor.
Traffic.
Right, TCAS.
Oh, we've got TCAS.
And that's because he's passing in front of us.
Yeah, we're vigil with him.
Yeah, it's a. It doesn't say anything about aircraft type. It just says fast 102 on VATSIM. Map enhancement. Thanks, Roy. Map enhancements for excellence. Another black auto. Ah, okay. Understand. At least the call sign is correct. Yeah, normally, yeah, I don't really worry too much about these. Now, if you really don't want to see that aircraft, then what you can do is just what's the command on Xpilot regarding .aircraft, for example, so you can ignore certain aircraft. Right, got
that 737 is now in a dive.
Yeah.
Down to our left. Yeah.
Is it
he's
Waller?
clear of us.
Okay. Or just Wallop? No.
Doing
like
700 knots of ground speed.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh well.
So what isn't Wallop like only for ATC or something? Ah, it calls the supervisor. Okay. Ah, okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, top drop coming in about.
Yeah, 15 miles.
All right, cool. There's no ATC here, so stream sniper, yeah, probably. Ah, okay. So dot ignore call sign. Thank you much for that. So that's so dot ignore fast 102. Thanks so much. Excellent.
Can I get rid of him as well, or would that just work for you?
Well, you could try.
So how do I?
So dot.
What do I write?
Yeah, just dot ignore.
Ignore.
Space and then fast 102. That's a call sign.
Fast. Capital letters for fast.
No, just put in small letters.
Okay. Let's see. Fast. There we go. Perfect.
And so I got the message saying fast 102 has been added to the ignore list.
Yeah, that's what it gave me.
Cool. Excellent. Right, yeah, thanks for that hearsay. All right, so shall we put in 4,000 or something? Let the VNAV do its thing?
Let's put in 11,000.
Oh.
So that's my whatever 11,000, and yeah, VNav will go.
Managed descent, as they say on the Airbus. I take over the Boeing
Yeah,
commands as well.
descent.
Yeah, it's no worries. Just Ruse's speed KLM is merging in front of. Okay, let me see. So we've got people flying along, which is very nice. Yeah, so there's someone close by. It's the Atlantic 1415 A319. He should be somewhere below us. Let me have a look. I don't see him. Boeing Sim Pilot, how to do share flight. So share flight is a app, and also there's a website. I'll give you the link for that. And so you can get a free version that allows you to join someone who has a paid tier subscription, or you get a paid tier yourself so that you can create flights and invite people. And so there's many people online. You can ask, there for people to fly with. Also here, if anybody wishes to do a shared flight with me, just give me a shout on my Discord or here, and then we can set something up. But this only works in X-Plane, okay? X-Plane 11 or X-Plane 12. Hey, Tyragoth, how you doing? Cool. Okay, so anything Ratnaf we want to dial in? Is there anything that would help us? Open question. So I can see an NDB Mike Yankee, and I can see Vaga beacon in front of the runway. Think that would help?
Sorry?
The Vaga beacon.
Will probably help. Yep.
So Victor Golf, right or left? Which one do you want?
Victor Golf.
It's only on an NDB chart.
Left. Yeah.
Left. Okay, I'll get you Victor Golf on the left. 348. Yeah, is dialed in on the left side.
Thank you.
Yeah, and there's many different aircraft types that you can use with shared flight. Let me see if I can find a list. So they give you the software as well then for download on that website. And also they have a kind of a documents page where you can download checklists, procedures, etc. So
Yeah, I actually uploaded my 320 checklist up to
Ladies
there.
and gentlemen,
Whatever.
welcome aboard the
Nice.
Captain Black Box
Library.
infotainment experience. New subscribers should now pick up their pass to first class. Thank you.
Straufi, thank you so much for the 6 months. Thank you so much for your support. The sun visor, yeah, it works well. Quite like it. It's not overdone, but yeah, it does help with the glare a bit, yeah. Cool, so fuel on board for the landing 5.1 and min diversion was
3.3 I had.
let's have a look. I have 3.6 min diversion, so that's 1.5 more. So that's a good, more than half an hour of extra fuel. So in case of go around,
Yeah,
we do have
so
enough
that's
fuel
fine.
to do a second approach. Yeah. Cool. All right. Gonna wait until we get into the clouds for the engine anti-ice. Let's have a look here. Landing performance. So the latest weather info. So 010 at 12. Light snow has gone. We have 1 degree
010.
and 1012. Yep.
010 at 12. Alright, so that gives us 11 knots of crosswind, so it is dropping off.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's the one thing in X-Plane which I think is overdone is the crosswind.
Yeah, me too.
Because it can be a real handful sometimes.
Well, if you go into the 30 knot crosswind or above, then it can happen that you have full aileron input and it's not enough to counteract that crosswind.
Yeah, or full rudder input and you still go off the runway.
Exactly, so it's something they have to tweak a little bit. Yeah, so here, German Sim Aviation, here in X-Plane, it does that automatically for you. So if the aircraft supports it, you have a replay mode. You don't have to press anything, it records that automatically. And afterwards you can, once you've logged off VATSIM, you can review. But you have to give me a shout later on after landing to do a replay.
And the thing about the replay here in X-Plane is it records a lot of aircraft parameters as well, not just the flight path.
Yeah, Ted, thank you much for the offer. Yeah, sure. I mean, if Marco is is with us, then yeah, why not? Ted playing the engineer panel piano. With the pipes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would be in for that, for sure. So, just running a little bit the numbers here. I just check one thing, though. Right, I've just loaded the descent wind data. So, hopefully gives a bit more accurate descent winds. 73 miles, 21,000 feet, but headwind, that should add up nicely. Hey, Hilo, shalom. Right, shall I switch on the engine anti-ice?
Yes, please.
Is on, and so let's have a look. How many minutes? 15 minutes to landing. Seatbelts?
Yeah, seatbelts on, please.
Seatbelts are on, and
we've hit another lump of turbulence.
Yeah, I even saw that. Yeah, Airbus it does. Yeah. So the Toliss has 3 stations. Yeah, absolutely. And also, if you own the Toliss, I think you can actually have 4 people on the flight deck. So you know, if you own the aircraft, you can fly along as a passenger in the flight deck as well. Hilo, yeah. So I'm the pilot monitoring today, and yeah, as expected, it's running very smoothly. So I love how quickly you can get set up, and yeah, synchronization is fine. Performance is fine. Okay, so there's a few more things to do with the descent items. So auto brake should be set. And The rest seems to be okay. And you're pilot flying, so that's your item.
All right, auto brake medium.
And then once we switch over to the QNH setting, we can go with the approach checklist.
Yeah. So approach. There we go.
Oh.
Yeah, I would say we're in moderate turbulence here based on my camera.
Yep. So you could go dial down the speed to 270 or something. That way.
Right. Oh, pull the speed. If I can pull it, there we go.
Yep. Looking good. So I think you're good to dial down to 4,000 feet now, since we are on the arrival.
Yeah, 4,000 feet.
So I can see there could be aircraft on the right. They're proceeding directly to the final, so they have a different routing now. I don't see anyone on TCAS though, which is kind of weird.
And we'll
now,
go open descent now.
No, so that's the thing with the here in X-Plane. You have to put the transponder not to auto but to on, and then you can see other traffic. So I think we would probably have to slow down anyways.
Yeah, let's get down to 240 knots.
Yeah, because that way I think we can let the aircraft on the right pass by, because they do have to do backtrack as well if they miss that taxiway.
We're gonna end up high on profile, so I'm gonna put some speed brakes out.
Sounds good. The KLM is overflying the field at flight 90. Okay, that's a bit weird. So we got the
speed brakes can come away.
yeah, checked. So we've got the Atlantic Air at 12,000 feet currently. We have the KLM is on a long range flight to Salt Lake City, so they're not landing. So we'll try to feed in behind the Atlantic Air 1415.
Yeah, so they're the ones 4,600 feet below us, aren't they?
Yeah.
On the TCAS.
Oh, I see what you mean. The KLM 14 Tango. Yeah.
KLM 14 Tango frequency for Satellite 1415.
Yeah, they're just calling them.
Yes, thank you. We are now joining final for last Zulu passing 6,700 feet and submitting touchdown and fixing you are entering holding over the field.
It could be that we may have to do a 360 Hertz Zulu.
I'm gonna slow the aircraft down. I'm gonna activate the approach phase
Thank you very much.
and set managed speed.
That will work, yeah.
And get some speed brakes out, otherwise we'll end up high again.
Fairer or Vara traffic, easy 711. Currently at Zudur. We'll try to feed in behind the Atlantic Air 1415 on the arrival in Vara. Yeah, so we're 20 miles behind them. That's no problem for us. It's just a KLM. I don't know what he's doing. He says join the Zulu approach. But yeah, you're doing good. Just slightly high. Nothing to worry about, really. Landing lights?
No, it's still looking fine. Yeah, landing lights on, please.
They are on. So -7 degrees, that's fine. So transition, we can put in QNH already now if you like.
Yeah, so QNH 1, what is it, 1012.
Check. And then just let me know when you're ready for the approach checklist.
Yeah, we'll get the approach checklist done now.
Okay, approach barrel ref.
QNH 1012 set 3 times.
1012 set. Seatbelts.
On.
Minimum.
It is 490 feet.
Barrel 490 set. Auto brake.
Medium.
Engine mode selector.
Normal.
Approach checklist complete.
Great.
Yeah, looking good. On path. Very nice.
Yep. And that aircraft has plenty of room.
Yeah, I agree. Mike Foxtrot ILS is identified.
Yep, checked. Dim is 21 miles.
Correct. Hey, Yurak. Yeah, there'll definitely be some crosswind in the approach.
Yeah. Flaps 1, please.
Speed checked. Flaps 1.
Thank you. And we can arm the approach. So,
Yep.
there we go. Glide slope lock blue cat 1.
Do you arm the second autopilot normally, or?
No, we'll stay in single autopilot.
Okay.
Embargo traffic, Federal Line 1415 is on a 3-mile final ILS below 30 and we will report.
Yeah, Yurak, you could be right there. The thing is, though, today on VATSIM, it's a bit difficult to... There's a lot of traffic inbound at the moment, so it's a lot easier just to feed in with the ILS. But yeah, I would say that you're probably correct there with the RMP approach.
KLM 1 for tank, we're currently in the hold at Mike Yankee and waiting for left traffic, find that traffic.
Yeah. So it's quite interesting. Somebody just mentioned that he heard that usually when it's windy, they would give you the RMP uniform approach, runway 30, which avoids the island mountains a bit. So that way...
That's a good point. I need rain on my side.
So, but today it's fine. Well, there's a lot of traffic inbound, so... Okay, and Vaga traffic, Easy 711, currently 17 miles from the field, turning inbound localizer and flying the ILS 30 in Vaga. All right, 500 feet to go.
Yep.
Right, good. Yeah, briefed everything. Quick review. So procedure for the missed approach will be according to the NAF routing, climbing up to 4,000 feet.
Up to 4,000, yes.
And the fuel 5.2 almost as expected.
Yep. Flaps 2, please.
Speed checked. Flaps 2.
Lot star.
Yep, checked.
Airline 150, we have vacated the runway and we are reporting a slight wind shear on the final, and I think there's no backcheck required for anything.
Okay, thanks for the pilot report. Easy 711 is on a 13-mile final, runway 30 in Vaga. Ted, yes, I am.
Localizer are captured.
I think it's everything's stable at the moment. I'm not running beta, I think, at the moment. The routing stick figure, let me just call that up for you. Hang on. All right, descent point. Yeah, checked. Looking good. Yeah, 24 knot crosswind at the moment from the right. And there were a few clouds in 1,600 feet, so could be a fairly late breakout. We'll see.
Yeah. Glide slope captured.
Checked. Missed approach 4,000 set.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's because terrain below us here.
Yeah. Rad Alter's alive though.
Checked. Severe ice detected. Okay, I'll switch on the wing anti-ice. So the threshold elevation is 235 feet.
Yes. visual with the runway.
Are you? I'm not.
2,500.
Well, maybe. Hang on. Oh, yeah, now I am as well. Yeah. Bit snowy on my side.
Gear down, please.
Yes. Gear down.
And flaps 3.
Speed checked. Flaps 3.
And flaps full, please.
Speed checked. Flaps full.
And you might want to get the runway turn off lights and stuff on.
Is on.
And landing checklist.
Landing checklist. Go around altitude 4,000 feet is set.
4,000 feet.
Yeah. And then we've got the cabin crew is advised. ECA memo.
And landing no blue.
And that's the landing checklist complete.
Right. Stable, glide slope. Low glides are speed, runway visual, autopilot off. I have control.
Enjoy. Vaga traffic, easy 711, 2 mile final, runway 30 in Vaga. Currently 17 knots crosswind from the right. Slightly low.
Yeah, I've got 20 knots from the right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, correcting nicely.
500.
Yeah, coming back on path. On path. Sync rate.
A bit high.
Light.
Sync rate.
100 above.
Yeah, my side a bit low.
Light slow.
Minimum.
300.
Bit left.
Mm-hmm. Coming back on path. Careful with the sync rate. Sync rate is high.
200.
There we go. Looking good.
Light 100. 50.
Sync rate. Sync rate.
30.
Go around.
Retard.
10.
Okay, pause the climb again.
Go around flat, please.
Flaps 3.
And
Go.
gear up, please.
Go around thrust set. Gear up. Careful with the speed.
Yep.
Vaga traffic. Easy 711 missed approach, climbing 4,000. Yep, nav mode is engaged. Looking good.
And leave a climb. Thrust climb, open climb, and 4,000 feet.
Checked. Yeah, good call. So now we would go to flaps 1
Okay,
straight away.
pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah, flaps 1, please.
Speed checked. Flaps 1. 1,000 feet to go. Tail west. Spicy approach.
We've got TCAS. We've got
Yeah.
TCAS coming towards us.
Yeah, but if you climb 4,000, let's go
At the
5,000.
same
Yeah, then
altitude.
let's go 5,000 to
Yeah,
deconflict.
okay, 5,000, please. Oh no, I
Yeah.
did that. There we go.
There we go.
Thrust climb, open climb, 5,000 feet blue.
And we can put the flaps up if you like.
Yeah, flaps up, please.
Flap 0, speed checked. No shouting? No, all good. Yeah, Vaga traffic. Easy 711 is climbing 5,000 for deconfliction.
Outstar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good call. I like that. For the go around Fuel check currently 4.8, so we have about 1,200 kilograms above minimum.
Yes. Yeah, had to be a go around. We were unstable.
Yeah, yeah, bit sink rate at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we ended up with 4 white pappies, and then we were just sinking too much.
Exactly. Hey, Tail West, you have a good flight. Looking forward to seeing you on Saturday. Have a good one, Tail West. Good night to you. Yeah, so Flight Money, the thing is, I mean, it's just a bit different regarding, you know, it being in a flight sim and being in the real aircraft. So in the real aircraft, if you actually have those G loads and, you know, you have a different kind of sense of, you know, of these vertical speeds, yeah, you tend to be, you know, doing call outs a lot earlier regarding go around, etc. Here in a flight sim, if I see that the pilot flying is correcting, then, you know, I'd just wait if, you know, 1 or 2 more seconds. And also here in the flight sim, it's about learning as well, isn't it? So, you know, I think Nick will, you know, I mean, he's an experienced flight sim anyways, but, you know, people tend to be learning more if you allow them to make a mistake. And then, you know, if they'd call the go around for themselves because they realize, you know, it's just completely unstable now, it has a much better effect for them. But indeed, in reality, you know, any kind of sync rate call out close to the ground usually will lead to a go round.
Yeah, we should have really gone round at that first sync rate, which was, what, 10 seconds early.
Yeah, but I mean, if you like in 500 feet height, right, then I would say if you get a sync rate call out, I would give you, as a pilot flying, you know, 1 or 2 seconds to correct that path. And if then there is no correction, then I would call and go around. But yeah, but sure, you know, near the ground, any sync rate call out should be followed by a missed approach for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's concentrate on flying again. So
we're just entering the hold at Mike Yankee.
Yeah, or Magni. Yeah. So what's your plan?
My plan is to... Well, we know the reason for the go-around. It was an unstable approach.
Yep.
That happened because... Well, mainly because of the crosswind, but also because I overcorrected a bit. So there's no fault with the aircraft that will stop us getting in again. So we will try another approach, and if this one doesn't work, I think it might be a clever idea to divert.
Okay, I agree.
Yeah, but we've got plenty of fuel still.
Yep.
I've got an ECAM anti-ice severe ice detected.
Yeah, so I can do the short version or the long version, whatever you like. So it says anti-ice severe aggression or ice detected, wing anti-ice on, and then it wants the engine start select ignition as well. Okay, I'll get that on. Yep. Weird thing is, if I switch wing anti-ice on, the whole message disappears, which is kind of weird, because normally it should just clear the first line, and the second line was the ignition start switch to ignition, which I've set now. So.
Right, so what I will do then is set up the approach, and this time we will go via Magni, so that we can fly straight back around.
Yeah, so you mean like Victor Golf 932, 930, and then back on the arc again to inbound. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
That. And yeah, we can activate that. Insert performance, activate approach phase again. Nothing will have changed for our performance. Our weight will be slightly lower, meaning calculations will be conservative, so that's fine.
Excellent. So then one more thing to read is the approach checklist again.
All right, so approach checklist, please.
Yeah, approach Bravo ref.
QNH 1012 set.
Currently, I'm just checking the weather. It says at 1920 Zulu, which is 20 minutes. It's 1013 now.
Let's check. Okay, I've still got 1012, but we can set 1013.
Okay, 1013 is set.
So yeah, I've got 1013 set.
Me too. 1013. The seatbelts.
They are still on.
Minimum.
490 feet barrow set.
Barrow 490 set. Auto brake.
Medium
And the engine mode selector.
is normal. Ignition.
Correct. For the icing. Approach checklist completed.
Yep. Perfect.
All right. Quick update on the fuel. I think the 4.4 is quite conservative or quite optimistic, so maybe we'll reach that with 4.2 tons, maybe, which still puts us 600 kilograms above the min diversion fuel. But I mean, you're going to have to make the call because you're the pilot flying, and you can judge whether or not, and you're the captain, of course. So you got to make the call then for the diversion or not.
I think if we go around this time, then it will have to be a diversion. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you say it's not manageable because of the wind or something, then yeah. Yeah, so Pilot 19. Yeah, so Pilot 19, the thing is that I can't quote for every airline, but I can quote my airline. And any crew member, so any active crew member in the flight deck below 1,000 feet height, if anyone calls go around, it is a mandatory go around.
Yeah, there have been enough incidents and accidents in the past to show that that's a good idea to have that rule.
Yeah, and the thing is that you have to realize that, for example, if it's a very demanding approach, lots of turbulence, crosswind, whatever, and the pilot flying, even if it's the captain, he's like tunnel visioned, right? He's concentrating so hard on controlling the aircraft, and the first thing that goes when you are in a kind of a workload or over workload situation, your hearing is the first thing that goes, right? So definitely. And our first officers, for example, they're trained in a manner that they will do one or two call-outs regarding go-around. And if there's no reaction from the captain, then the first officer would take over control. So physically take over control of the aircraft. Because they would assume that the captain is incapacitated. And incapacitation doesn't only mean, unconscious or something. No, it means that if you're so task-saturated that your hearing is gone, then that's also incapacitation, right? Because you're not in a capacity at the moment to control the aircraft correctly. Okay, so outbound again, and I'll give a call. And Vaga traffic, EZ711 is Magni outbound for the ILS Zulu 30 in Vagar. So currently I don't see any other traffic around us, so that's good.
No, nothing on TCAS that I can see.
Good. Okay, to give you a heads up, just as a pre-planning, the routing to Bergen is already in the in the flight plan.
Cool. Okay.
So we would initially do the normal go around towards Magni, and then once we're high enough, we can then go to the first fix, which would be Ordeva.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Airbus. Alrighty, good. And let's have a look. Yeah, you can descend down to 4,000 anytime you like. But there's no rush, just saying.
Yes. There's no rush because we've still got like 30 miles until we need to be at 4,000 feet.
Yep, correct. Yeah, it's interesting, Nick, that you quoted quite correctly. You lay down your arguments why it's perfectly feasible to do a second approach into Vagar, right? Like you're saying, it's not a technical issue or anything, in that regard that would prevent us from doing a safe approach, right? It's just a little bit of not getting the aircraft into the right position on the final approach. So getting a bit unstable and, a good call for the go-around. So, yeah, that's why you would have no problem saying, we could do a second approach. Now, the question arises, obviously, so let's say, assume we still have enough fuel to do a third approach, but company rules very often actually will say that if you went around twice, due to, being unstable on final, it's then assumed that the weather conditions are such that they are so demanding that it's difficult to control the aircraft. And so in that case, to do a third approach, you would have to assume conditions have improved somewhat compared to the last approach, so that a landing is, somewhat more likely, right? So they describe it in not such a perfectly direct way. So they do leave you some, options, but it's just a matter of really considering all the facts, right, and then making a sound decision on whether or not to do a third approach or not.
Yeah.
Aviamar, hello.
In this case, if we go around, then the only real way would do a third approach in that case is if the wind dropped.
Yeah.
Dropped reasonably.
And of course, it would assume that you still have enough fuel to do a third approach, go around, and then have your minimum
go
diversion
around
fuel.
And then have enough. Yeah,
exactly.
All right, I'm going to set 4,000 feet, open descent.
Yep. So one thing you have to understand, and I know Nick knows this, but maybe not many people here know the fact that the way fuel reserves are calculated is that if you actually have that value here on your OFP, so for us it's 3.6 tons, right? That is a minimum value in the sense that it only contains the final reserve fuel of 30 minutes flight time at 1,500 feet above the alternate airport at green dot speed. And then the alternate fuel, so the fuel required to fly to your alternate. So if you take the 2.6 plus the 1 ton, that's how you get the 3.6 tons minimum fuel needed at the runway in the approach. So at the missed approach point would be the normal description. So you have to realize if you do that, so you legally leave at 3.6 tons, you will arrive at the runway in Bergen today with only 30-minute fuel remaining. So that's 1 ton. That's 500 kilograms in each tank. That is not a lot, right? So you have to be aware of that. It's perfectly legal but it's something we pilots just do not like to have. Okay, so always
Yeah, and
have that in the back of
also-
mind. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also worth noting we've currently got 4.3 tons, so if we do go around, then we're going to be fairly limited.
Yeah.
I would say it would have to be a diversion if we go around this time.
Yeah.
But
And there's not much wasting time either, because remember, if you calculate to land with less than 45 minutes remaining flight time, it's already a minimum fuel call to ATC.
yeah.
Hey, Captain Murthian. Aviamar was asking if you were the one as a pilot monitoring to call go around, would you take over controls to X? No. No. So it's just a call out from the pilot monitoring, and then I would expect the pilot flying to perform a go around. Now, if the pilot flying does not execute the go around, and I am, sure that we are not on a safe flight path anymore, and maybe a second go around call still doesn't lead to go around, then I would take over control as a pilot monitoring.
Flaps 1, please.
Is heard, speed is checked, and here comes flaps 1. Yeah, Manuel, this airport is very challenging, and I've actually flown over Vargar on a way to Keflavik in real life, and I heard an Atlantic, or the Faroe Island, what's it called? Something, oh, not sure, Air Atlantic or something. So the ones that fly here to Vargar, and the winds were actually gusting 40. And they had low ceiling as well. So I was like, no way they're going to make the landing. But they did. Hats off. Faroe Line, that's it. Yeah, Faroe Line, yeah. So, yeah, hats off. They made it. I don't know how, but they made it.
And on the approach, so that is glide slope lock blue cat 3 single.
Checked. So strictly speaking, I'm just checking the performance with engine and wing anti-ice on. We could still do 4.4% go around gradient. Landing margin is also fine still. So all good.
Perfect. Flaps 2, please.
Speed is checked. Actually, just as a quick notice, we're still 16 miles out and 4.2 tons, just to conserve a bit of fuel. Shall we delay that until we get closer to the descent point?
We might delay that, yeah. I'm just conscious we don't want the speed too high because there's a steep approach.
I agree. About, let's say, maybe 2 miles in front of the 904 waypoint there. That should give us a bit more fuel. Yeah, man, I've seen one video within the 320 or 319 from Atlantic Airways with head-up display even. Right, localizer
Lock
is
star.
alive, yeah.
All right, flaps 2, please.
Yep, speed is checked. Oops. Flaps 2. Oh, really? They far cargo fly 757 out of Vargar. GG.
Localizer captured.
Checked. Yeah, goes on the 737 with the HUD. Yeah, I would have to be careful, no doubt. Glad Slope is alive as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, ceiling is being named Scattered 2700, so should be pretty much the same as on the first approach.
Glide slope start.
Here's checked. Thanks,
And glide
Ghost.
slope captured.
Yep. Missed approach 4000 set.
Thank you.
Yeah, conditions are not easy, correct.
2,500. 2,000.
Get down, please.
Gear up.
And flap 3.
Speed checked. Flap 3.
And flaps full, please.
Speed checked. Flaps full. Runway is
And
ahead.
visual, yep. And landing checklist.
Landing, go on altitude.
4,000 feet.
Cabin crew is advised.
Advise, yep.
And AECA memo.
Landing no blue.
Landing check is complete. So wind 23 knots from the right.
Yeah. I'm gonna get a feel for the aircraft a bit earlier, so
Yeah,
we are
sure.
stable. Autopilot off, I have control.
Yep. So just as ice not detected, I'll get the wing anti-ice off again. Engine mode selector is normal.
We're a bit high.
Mm-hmm.
Gently correcting.
Yeah. Right, coming back nicely. On path. Sync rate is still a bit high.
Great.
Yeah, looking good. Still slightly low, descending too fast.
Yeah.
Yep, correcting.
100 above.
Careful with sync rate. Careful.
Minimum.
Yeah.
Looking good.
Continue.
Yeah.
200. Glide slow. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20.
Retard. Retard. Drive. Retard.
Okay, we'll go down. Speed brakes and reverse a green.
Detail.
And we have 60 knots.
Reverses off manual brakes.
Yep. Yeah, so it could be that we have a slightly different elevation on the runway. That's why it looked a bit weird at the end.
The auto brake wasn't working properly.
Okay, now it's off. Right, I'll clean up the aircraft.
Thank you.
Well done. And VAGA traffic. Easy 711, runway 30 vacated. Yeah, so that's why it is advisable to have the same sceneries. Although I think we do have the same sceneries, correct?
Yeah, which scenery do you have again?
The Aerosoft one, Aerosoft X-Plane.
Yeah,
12.
same here.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's a bit strange that we have different elevation data, but that's what can happen. Right. Good. APU is starting up. Right side is clear.
And we'll take it into stand number 5.
Roger. So after landing checklist, radar PWS is off.
Checked.
Yeah, replay. We'll have a look at the replay in a minute. Let me just get aircraft parked. APU is available. I love how the brake here always gets hot here in the Toliss.
Parking brake set.
APU lead is on. So you can switch off the engines anytime.
Perfect. Engine number 1 and 2 off.
Okay, then I've got a couple of items to do.
N1 below 10%.
Perfect.
I can come off.
Yeah. Stand by on the transponder. Doors are getting into park. Fantastic. All right, and then I can give you a parking checklist.
Right. Parking, yep.
Parking checklist. Parking brake or chocks.
Set. Parking brake.
Yeah, engines.
Off.
And the fuel pumps.
Fuel pumps are off.
Yeah, and that's the parking checklist complete. Right, we're going to log off VATSIM, and then we'll have a look.
And then we'll disconnect from shared flight as well, I guess.
Well,
at this point,
because
so
that way we can do the
that
replay.
will mess it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me. How do I disconnect from that?
Let me see. Active flight, disconnect.
There we go.
Perfect. Yeah, so before we do the replay, because that we can talk to your chat as well. So yeah, I can say well done. I mean, definitely noticeable that you've been doing a lot of flying in the Airbus. So very nice.
Yeah.
Oh, procedure-wise, briefings, decision-making, really, really good. Like it. No complaints whatsoever. So yeah. Meaning that at some time if you like we could do another flight, and then we can see maybe spice things up a bit with some abnormals. Nothing crazy, but something that requires a bit of kind of fact finding, decision making, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
If you're up for that at some point.
Yes, I think I would be up for that.
Excellent, excellent. Right, guys, big shout out again to Organ Aviator. If you don't know him, check out his channel on YouTube, please. And
yes. Thank you. I believe we gained 3 subscribers, so thank you to everyone who came over and subscribed to us.
Thank you very much. And I'll see you very soon again, I'm sure, doing another shared flight.
All right.
Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. See you soon.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye-bye. Right, that was very, very well done, yeah, I have to say. Mark, Mark, I mean, let's see, Mark, how you've improved the next time we fly. No pressure, no pressure. No, Mark is very good as well. But I know Mark is very eager to learn more and more. But that was a very, very cool flight. Very nicely done. Let's have a look. View. Let's do flight. Toggle replay mode. There we go. So let's have a look if that works here. So let's go back. There we go. And
2000.
let's do normal play. What do you mean? Nothing, Mark. All good. All good. No, you're fine. Yeah, initially Nick wanted to fly down to the Falkland Islands. The problem was that it would have been a very long flight over water, and yeah, the PC fans are on toga. Yeah, so you know, it would have been a long flight over water, not really much to see. So I asked him if it's possible to do maybe a little bit shorter flight. But yeah, sure, an interesting approach, and yeah, Vagar definitely fit that description. So let's go into the tower view here. Beautiful view from the tower. There is the aircraft coming in. Yeah, and here you can see that that very big upslope. And I think it's showing 30-meter wide runway. Although I have a feeling that in Microsoft you can actually see that even clearer. That's only 30 meters wide. And again, that's just so unusual, and you know, your eye and your mind is trained to have a certain picture, and so if you suddenly run into a runway that's a lot smaller, so not 45-meter wide but only 30-meter wide, then of course your brain tells you that you're a bit too high in the approach, right? So you would have a tendency to delay the flare, and in combination with that upslope, that could definitely lead to a hard landing. And you couple that with the strong crosswind, as you can see here. Right, look at that. You can see the crab angle there. So, a lot of things that have to be controlled with the decrab. Then the flare, getting the flare correct. That's a really, really kind of challenging approach there. Yeah, exactly. No room for buttering the landing. Yeah, so here it is recording that as a pretty hard landing, but again, I'm not sure what it looked like on his side. So you have always got to take that into account. So I don't know. Now, to be honest, I wanna try the approach myself, not to prove that I'm better. Don't get me wrong. No, I'm not better. It's just for me. I want to see what it feels like to fly that approach. That's all I want to do. I don't want to prove a point that I'm better or anything. Don't get me wrong, please. And I've seen the approach twice now, so I'm at an advantage anyways. Organ says he couldn't get the replay to work. Okay, maybe that's because I was but that's just an assumption. Maybe that's because I was the host of that flight. And one thing I want to do as well, I want to fly that RMP approach. That looked just so. Yeah, so Organ, like I was saying, don't take this as me trying to prove that I'm better or anything like that. It's not that. It's just I'm just curious to see how the aircraft handles. And what it feels like to fly the approach. So I'm just going to do a flat 2 takeoff. I'm going to put something into the box here. So let's put Vagar. I'm trying to get the weights the same. I'm going to go to 4,000 feet. Next page now. Let me just check the weights. So we had that, and the fuel was about 4 point something, 4.5. We'll take that. Yeah. So that's that. Now, departure, we'll take 30. Just any departure's fine. So that way I'm going to put flaps 2 in here. We'll take Toga power. I'm just going to take some speeds. 140, 141, 145. And the rest we'll do for the approach. Right, cross-bleed manual control. Why is that? Gonna clear that. 4,000. 1013. Looks good, looks good. Cabin. Chime. Spoilers. Radar. PWS. Takeoff config. Trim. That's fine. Let's go. Mantoga SRS, runway auto thrust blue. I can already feel the crosswind. A lot of left rudder I have to use. 100 knots. That slope, look at that. 21, rotate. Rotate. Why is my stick not working? Come on. Hold on, my stick isn't working. Hold on, why is that stick not working? It's plugged in. Ah, okay, so that's why. It wasn't calibrated. Like a big ski. Yeah, that's why I thought we'll just leave it for now. So let's see if that works now. Nope. I'm not sure. Is that because of the shared flight or something? Mechanical backup training. I don't know what's going on here. Let me just do. It's got roll. It's got pitch, so it has those axes. So why isn't it working? So anything really? All right, guys. Let me just restart the sim. Because I do want to fly the approach here. Let me just restart the sim here. Oh, really? So it was like because of the shared flight. Ah, okay, Mark. Yeah, yeah. Thanks for the feedback. Right. Good thing is that we can set this up really quickly. Hey, you can still control the aircraft. I don't know. I guess maybe this because shared flight was running in the background when we did this. So we'll see. Thanks, Mark. Right, let's resume the last flight here. Duxton, hello. Do you have any tips for holding the center line in max flights with Phoenix so hard? Do you have rudder pedals? So hardware rudder pedals, that's the first question. Because then there's different ways of setting the tiller or setting the sensitivity for the, for the rudder curves, control curves. All right, now it's working. Fantastic, cool. So let's go put this in, apply, and then we'll quickly do init. Right, let's go. It's 100 knots. On, rotate. There we go. Now it's actually working. Bit of crosswind there. Positive rate, gear up. Scenery looks pretty here. I like it. Really nice. Yeah, flight controls were checked. 100%. Thrust climb out blue, 4,000. Now let me enter the approach here. So that was the RMP uniform, wasn't it? Flaps 1. It's actually flaps 1. Let's insert that. Gorgeous. Look at that. Right, flaps 0. Speed check, flap 0. TCAS. So, performance. So let me have a quick look here into landing. So we have 1013. Temperature is 2. Oh, actually, it was 1. 1 degree, and no, it's 2 degrees. 10 at 13. 13. And I think minimum was 4.9. Actually, it's the RNP approach, isn't it? So that's a bit different regarding the arrival. So let's have a look. The approach RMP uniform. Well, let's activate the approach phase. Already there. Let's do flaps 1. Constraints 4,000. So I'm going to put in 1,800 now. And let the aircraft fly thrust idle descent out blue. Going to put the gear down. I'll drag on the aircraft. Very short approach here. And so minimums will take 760. And config full, obviously. Flaps 2, speed check, flaps 2. Auto brake medium. So the approach checklist, we have bar row 1013 set 3 times, seatbelts on, minimums bar row 760. Auto brake medium, engine mode selected normal, approach checklist completed. Here comes flaps 3, speed check, flaps 3. Look at that. Yeah, so this approach is programmed so that you fly through this valley here. And that apparently is used when there's a lot of wind, a lot of turbulence. And that way you can avoid overflying these areas. Hey, Organ, welcome back. Yeah, so everything's set now. And we're flying the that uniform RMP approach. So we're inbound to the final approach point. 992, so we can actually press the approach button. So we have speed, final approach, and I'm going to set the Mr. Approach 4000. This checked, cabin, and flaps full, speed check, flaps full. Landing checklist, ECOM landing no blue, Mr. Approach 4000 is set, so let's just enjoy the view, and there's the runway. Wow, that is a very interesting approach. I'm not going to lie. I'm just going to leave the autopilot on for now. That is a very cool approach. Yeah, I know, right? Captain's weather. Psst. Still windy though. Look, 20 knots of wind. Right. So contrary to other procedures, I am gonna go with
1000.
auto thrust off.
$1,000.
1000 check, stable, and now turning final. How cool is that? I'm gonna go manual flight. All right, 1 red, 3 white, looking very nice. There we go.
100 above.
Yeah, runways inside. That's a very cool approach. Slightly low here, according. Continue. Gonna trust the instruments coming around the corner. It's showing a bit low there. Correcting. Isn't it weird how if you look out on through the window, you think you're actually high, but that is because of that's very, very small runway.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20.
Retard.
10.
Yeah. Also quite hard, but I'll take that. But yeah, definitely that's a challenge. Absolutely. Right, manual brakes. Yeah, that's a lot to handle. So guys, if you look for a nice challenge, yeah, fly to Vargar on a windy day. That will definitely keep you busy. Minus 279? I don't think so, Mark. Oh, actually, you know what? You're right. But you know why that shows at minus 279? Because it's a huge upslope. That's why. Because we're literally like going level, really, and then touching down. Yeah, you're trying to help me? Yeah, thank you, Mark. I appreciate that very much. But I tell you what, we can watch the replay. You will see that that will also be a very hard landing. Yeah, runway 12 is also a challenge, absolutely. So let me just do the replay here very quickly. And again, that's also going to be a hard landing for sure. Yeah, literally, like if you fly level, it's still a hard landing. So let's have a look here. So that's such a fantastic approach. Love that, how that RMP takes you through the valley there. Very short lineup. And again, you can see that that tremendous drift angle. So the idea is to take out most of the crab angle, but you're not going to be able to get everything out. So here comes the brake. Trying to get, look at that. Look at the pitch angle that we had. So let me just go and have a look here. So yeah, this way you can see that's a very firm touchdown, right? But so the idea is to do a clear derotation, you know, taking out the crab angle. But in these conditions, obviously, you're not going to be able to kick out the whole crab angle because the risk is going to start drifting towards the runway edge, and it's only 30 meters wide. There's just not much room for error. So, yeah, look at that. Rudder input, trying to get the nose so that the sideward forces on the landing gear get decreased somewhat. Yeah, and then you have to make sure that you keep that that wing low down. You don't want to allow the wind to pick up the wing here. Actually, let's do one more from the. Let me just do the window view there. Yeah, the thing is that the centerline tracking is definitely hard here in X-Plane because of that crosswind component. X camera. Control panel. Let me go and find my cabin view here. Hang on, where's my wing view? There we are. Right back, right front. There we go. Let's have a look here. Yeah, Organ, your landing was fine. Yeah, absolutely. Thump. So you see, so from the passenger point of view, that would be like, oof. So I could just see the passengers go, oop. Buttons. Yeah, like my back, yeah. You can't feel your legs. Oh, God, you guys sometimes. Right, but like I was saying, if you want to challenge, do that. Cool, but overall, I'm very happy with shared flight. It's working very nicely. I think it's also for the viewers a nice experience. So overall, nice performance, very reliable. So yeah, we'll see who's my next victim. Who's brave enough to get into the flight deck with me. And then, of course, we want to do another fun flight with the 747-200. But we've got to get Mark and his computer running for that. And so looking forward to that. Fantastic, guys. Okay, guys, so as a quick heads up, so I'm going to be in Holland, in Netherlands, this weekend for the FS Weekend show. I will post pictures. I will post reports on my Discord. We have a dedicated channel there. And then I'm looking forward to meeting many people there. And then I will be back either Monday or Tuesday with the next stream. So stay tuned for the announcement on my Discord, guys. As always, my dear moderators, thank you so much for all the help. As always, thanks for the support coming in. Big shout out, big thank you again to Organ Aviator, who did a fantastic job today in the shared flight. So very, very well done. Thank you so much. Charity Aviation says, what about being my victim at...
Good night.
That's Rio.
Black box.
Yeah, so Charity Aviation, give me a shout, either here through my email address or on my Discord channel. We can set up things. There's something, 100%. Thanks so much, Organ Aviator. Big shout out again, guys. Check out his channel on YouTube. Peter, thank you much for watching. Yeah, okay, Peter, yeah, looking forward to meeting you on Sunday. Yeah, stay tuned on my Discord for meeting places. Fantastic, guys. Thank you so much, everyone. Stay safe. Have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you again very soon. Good night.